Aside from our guest episodes, the Pile Up Podcast is highly visual. Please do not watch and drive.
Let's unite in the same alone. Everybody knows black wheels are dumb. Shiny pants, shiny shoes, and some wheels. Playing games in the chat is so real. Rich rarely ever gets on. Sometimes we even put them in their song. Rio in the background making reels. All the Instagram nerds getting in their feels. Release us from this feeling. The chat is always screaming. Smash that door, smash that door. Welcome to the Pile Up Podcast. The podcast is the worst. Welcome to the Pile Up Podcast. The worst podcast on earth.
Pile Up Podcast is brought to you by the Smile Death Network. It is a lifestyle brand bringing you all sorts of swag, stickers, hats, apparel, pretty much anything that we can sell that won't get us put in jail. But you should check us out at www.smilexdeath.com. We also support the podcast by selling the podcast merch, and we are home to Car Shop Kuroshi. That drift team sucks, but you could buy their shit if you'd like
Do you
to.
need a really fucking sick livery for your drift car? Maybe you just want a bunch of stickers to throw at people. Hit up New School Vinyl for all of your adhesive back laminated vinyl needs.
We asked CoralWorks to make us an ad, and they did, and it's super sick. Check it out. But they messed up and they forgot to do the audio, and then when they did do it, they was only coming out of one channel. So we're going to do it for them. CoralWorks.com. You can use code PILEUP and get 10% off most things. Don't be a bitch. Do it.
What the fuck is up, everybody? It's your boy, Damien. Welcome to the Pile Up Podcast. We got a guest today, and I'm really excited to sit down and talk with him and pick his brain. But before we dive into that, let's bring in the good old co-host, Mr. Chad Chimahusky.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. You look well. You have, like, your hair looks cute. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I needed a haircut. I was pretty scruffy. So.
Yeah,
Pretty
I'm
good for me.
really scruffy, but I feel like I'm always fucking scruffy.
You have a mountain man vibe. You just
I'm
start
a
wearing
mountain man.
flannels.
I eat flannel. That's how fucking tough I am. I don't
Pretty
know.
tough.
Pretty tough. What's up, chat? Let's bring in the rest of the people. I see a lot of homies popping in. This is fucking going to be a good night. Let's bring in the real star of the show, of the hosts. Rich Whiteman, fuck James Carper. No, I'm just kidding.
Should have been James.
Whoa, Rich is here. This is
That's
weird.
crazy.
So you be James tonight, okay? And he'll be you.
Wow. Oh,
Right?
all right.
Yeah, so
I need more beer.
yeah,
Did he just leave?
Go
James
get more
doesn't
beer.
even have to be here.
No, he needs to be here. He's my little fucking guy. Look at there he
He's
is,
the best.
Mr. James. What is up? He is
I
the
was
best.
real quick
Little
trying to
guy.
figure out how to change my name to Rich Whiteman, but I can't do it on this platform as easy as I could the last one.
No, it's not as fast. Welcome, boys. Welcome. It's been a little while since we had a guest, and I'm excited.
Yeah,
It's
Rich
almost
hasn't
like
been
we
on
have
in a
two.
while.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, it is almost like we have to. Thanks for joining us, Rich, you fucking
What's
baby
up?
maker. Stop splooging everywhere and having babies, man.
Yeah, long time listener. So, yeah.
First time
On
caller.
the show, yeah.
He's
I love
never actually listened to this show, though.
No, he's never, ever. No. He gets the Instagram reel recaps. That's pretty much it.
Cat's
pretty
pretty
much
good,
all
though.
you need.
She watches.
Does she? Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we'll start subbing you out for her. I bet you she'd be on every time.
It'd be a lot better.
Yeah. We'll just train her to drive too, and then we can just get her on the team.
Should we
Way
keep us
better.
fed?
She,
So,
yeah, she would keep us fed. That's funny. So, yeah, everybody in the chat, welcome. So we're gonna have a very special guest, and he's backstage currently.
Mr. Bays.
The Mister of the Bays. So I have a lot of questions for him. I know he seems like a really good dude. I met him in person, I believe, at Final Bout the first time, and we kind of like, I could just tell like he's a bro. You know what I mean? Like he's a good dude. Like we kind of clicked a little bit. You know, me and Palmer were walking around too, and we had a little bit of a daddy session, and we vented about our dads, and that was also something. You know, we clicked. It's pretty cool. It's neat when you meet people and you can already tell like they're just good people. You know what I
both
mean?
have daddy issues.
Yeah, you know, zaddies, and that's why we're now zaddies. I don't know what that means. What is a zaddy? I don't even remember.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either way, I want to bring him on. Oh, and we lost Rich.
Rich
he's
is gone.
fucking, he's fucking out. Oh, he's
Pull the
still
wrong
there.
USB cord.
Yeah, you are horrible. But anyway,
100 USB cords.
I want to introduce him so we can get into his life and his story. So, Mr. Chase McMaster.
What's up, everybody? I have a terrible dad, which makes me a good person.
Yes, that's how that happens, dude. Seriously, because
Sick.
my dad's so bad, he's dead. You know what I mean?
Hey,
It's a bad name.
my dad, he passed away last year, so
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That was
No,
that
it's okay.
soon. Yeah, mine was forever ago, and he was never in my life. So you know what I mean? Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. Hey, first, I have to ask, McMaster, the real name.
Real name.
That's fucking sick.
McMaster
Yeah.
car. Like, can I get next day
Yeah.
bolts from you or what?
Right.
Like,
No,
I need
it's
some
any-
stainless hardware.
Any
It's funny.
religion?
We definitely buy stuff from them, and I was on the phone with them one time, and I'm like, "So my name's Chase McMaster," and I was wondering if I could get maybe a discount. And there's like a 5-second pause, and they said, "No,
Yeah,
you want to pay with credit
least
card
they-
or what?"
At least they thought about it, though.
That's
You
true.
know?
Yeah, I
That's
didn't
true.
think about that.
Yeah. Oh, we got hashtag Dead Dad Club. All right, this is starting
shit,
out
what up?
fucking great. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So yeah, welcome, man. I am.
Who's
is that your dead dad? That you're
Dead dad.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
This is what happens, though. This is what happened at Final Bout. Is you'll put me on the mic, and within like 5 seconds, I'm like, I got to get off this mic. I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
It happens. Yeah, it happens.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. Yeah. So Rich is fucking flipping out over there. Who knows what's going on? Are you
Classic.
okay, Rich?
Yeah, Rich.
He's gone. So this is standard pile up podcast tradition. You know, something fucking up. So that's great.
Yeah,
I love
at least it's not me this time.
That is true. At least it isn't you. So, dude, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day. I'm sure you're busy as shit to come on and shoot the shit with us, and it means a lot. And I wanted to dive into the first question is your origin story. And I want to talk like, so I know you were massive in the Honda world. And I know of course you were known for a clean ass engine bay, and that's what started this stuff. But I want to go back to when you first got introduced to anything automotive. Like what was that?
Sure. Yeah. Also, thanks for having me. It's an honor
course.
to be here, and I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
So I was a sponsored skateboarder from 12 to 15, like age 12 to 15, and
yeah.
tore my ACL and then hit a growth spurt. And so I couldn't really skate anymore, and thought my life was ruined, and that was that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had my depression emo phase, but my neighbor had a Civic Si with white. I forget the name of the wheel. White battles, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It was that blue pearl, like emerald blue pearl, and yeah, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It had a nice sounding exhaust, and I'm like, I can get on. I can get by with that.
Yeah.
And so started going over there and getting into cars, and then got a first car was a S chassis. It was a '93 Burgundy 240 SX.
Ooh.
I
What
forget
color
the-
interior?
Gray.
Okay. Yeah. I figured it was either going to be like that tan or like the gray. Yep.
Yep. And then totaled that pretty quickly. Yeah, I was kind of getting like this was 2004, and I was kind of drifting a little bit back then.
Okay.
Or, I thought I was. It was
Yeah.
one tire fire, but I was power sliding a little bit, and then I crashed into a car. It's actually the only wreck I've ever been in, minus drifting wrecks and
Right.
wrecks on track. But
Yeah.
I crashed into a car and then got a CRX. So that's how I got
Yeah. No shit. Yeah.
Much cooler car, if you ask me.
Okay.
I'm
I
a
agree.
big Honda guy, so
Yeah.
that's cool.
So that's where it kind of started, and just
Yeah.
because you can be, obviously you get a lot of former skateboarders and BMXers are into drifting and motorsports now, but it's you check the boxes. It's creativity and adrenaline.
Yeah. No, that's super cool. So then when you started getting into like when you got the CRX and stuff, was that the first car that like you really started modding, or did you mod the S13 a little bit?
I did. I had a Pexi on the S chassis. I had a Pexi in one coilovers and exhaust, and that was it. And
Okay.
then So I did some modifications to it, but it was brief, man. It was like 3 months, and then I trashed it. So
Yeah.
the CRX, I bought it, and then I B16 swapped it pretty quickly. Like
Wow.
the JDM B16 that came in the CRX, it was just
Mm-hmm.
plug and play basically if you had mounts, and I did that pretty quickly, like within 2 months.
Okay. Yeah. No way. Oh, we got a little bit of a lag here. Are you still?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go. I think we're back. I think
I
we're
have a
back.
lag.
Yeah,
What you think?
it's probably Rich.
It's probably me.
That's what he does. So sick. So then, from the Honda stuff. So like, when did you start doing like the cleanup in the bays? You know what I mean? Like what inspired that? Like just aesthetics? Like were you into the car shows? Were you going to the car shows? Like meets or friends?
It was actually hot rods. Went to a Kmart parking lot hot rod meet,
Hell yeah!
and they
Kmart.
had
Kmart.
yeah. I went and bought some jeans, and then went outside.
Route 66s.
I was gonna say Route 66, or was it Bugle?
There's
Yeah.
Bugle
Oh, man.
Boys.
That was a
Bugle,
thing.
yeah. I got
Yeah.
some Bugle relaxed fit jeans, and then just they had the floating engine bay. You had a small block, and then
Yeah.
they would tub it, and it just looked like a floating engine. And so me and my buddy went back to the garage and pulled the bumper and fenders and just moved the wires, hid the wires, and then posted that on Honda Tech. And I just liked the way it looked, and I hated the clutter in the bay. Like the engine bay is pretty small in CRXs as it is. So I was like,
Yeah.
well, this is sort of utilitarian and it'll look cooler. So hid the wires and then posted it on Honda Tech, and it was like, this was way before anybody had done anything like that. Like shaved engine bays or whatever,
Yeah.
tucked engine bays are totally normal. But to anybody who was around in 2005 or 6, it was unheard of. And so posted it, and it was just a blitz. And then did the brake lines and fuel lines. Just slowly like got rid of everything. Like found a way to just relocate it, and kind of just use hot rods as the inspiration because they were using AN fittings and doing like the stainless hard lines and stuff like that. So. Did that and then posted it on Honda Tech, and it was everybody was what was it called, PMing, private messaging me,
Yeah.
and said how much to do that to my car, and
Oh, nice.
that led into eventual Chase Bay. So it started out as just
No
kind
shit.
of like show car, but I was into back roads and toge, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff pretty early on. And I was watching Option and just trying to mimic what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have a CRX?
No, I wish.
Kind of need to get one. Yeah, all the cars you have, you should get.
I have I have a CRX. I thought you said
Okay,
the
good.
like the original.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
No, I have
one.
I,
Yeah.
I have a pretty trash one that's it's kind of a mock-up car that we just mock up products on. But maybe one day we'll.
Oh man, I miss the Honda days. It was just
too.
it was a simpler time, like
Dude, it really
Oh.
was, man.
You had to worry about your shit getting stolen too. So
that's true. Now you do. Yeah.
I was in Alabama, but yeah, everybody in California, man, that was crazy back then. People would have these beautiful like JDM front ITRs, and they would just be stolen. Never
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, it's such a shame. That's one of the things that's probably the main reason when I was younger I kind of just got out of the Honda scene because it was stupid. Like my car got stolen. I took a bunch of time, getting it ready, and I was just like, you're heartbroken. You're just like, this sucks.
Your car did get stolen?
Yeah.
What did you have?
It was like a 96 hatch.
Yeah.
Just simple cozy K1s. This was my Del Sol days, so I had a hatch with
Del
my
Sol
Del Sol.
Damien.
I was called Del Sol Damien, so I had,
good.
I had a lot of Del Sol stuff. But yeah, it sucked because I actually knew all the thieves too. So we ended up finding. I got a phone call and they're like, "Yo, I think my brother stole your car," and I was like, "Yeah, he fucking did," and I was like, "The cops are already looking," so they ditched it. But and I got it back, but it just didn't feel the same. It's like, it's like. Like if somebody stole my cat and then shaved it
touched
and I
your
got it
drum
back.
set.
Somebody touched my drum set. Their balls were just everywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I got out of it.
I went to Honda Day back when I had my cars, and the last year I went, I think they had 8 or 9 cars get stolen out of the parking lot.
That's
Honda Day.
crazy.
Wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. It was a ruthless time.
From what I gather, it's not really a problem anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
You should
that
bring
way.
it back.
Let's start.
Yeah, so when's Honda Day?
Yeah. We start a chop shop. That'd be great. International. So and you're from, you said, you're from Alabama, right?
Yeah, Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, yeah. That's pretty sweet. And it wasn't a big deal there. Like it wasn't really.
Theft was not. No, our car
Okay.
scene has never really been a thing. It never
Yeah.
really blossomed. There was a handful of us that were building cool cars. We had a crew. It was called the Dang Crew with a capital A.
Dang.
Dang, son.
Yeah, if anybody was on Honda Tech back in 04 to 2006 or 7, they'd likely know us. But yeah, we went to Nopi Nationals in Atlanta.
Oh, no.
That's cool.
We showed
I miss
up.
the Nopi days.
Yeah, dude. We're old, huh?
Is that a thing in Alabama, the thang? Because I also know that there's the mysterious white thang running
White
around. You
Is that
know,
Rich?
Sounds racist.
running around. That's it's their mythical creature.
I'm
that
unaware of this. Can you
is-
explain that?
Yeah,
Is that a
absolutely.
thing?
So it is sightings reported since 1940s.
She's ready.
It is just description: a white humanoid creature with red eyes that is said to be around 8 feet tall. Its abilities can move quickly and make a screeching sound like a woman screaming. Yeah, most recent sightings is 2002. A Reddit user has reported.
Yeah, that's actually me.
Yeah, you just running around being like,
I'm 8 feet tall. I didn't realize that I had a counterculture. That's good. to
oh,
know.
you do.
I'll sell some shirts. We'll get some shirts going.
There you go. That could be like the next Chase Bay's shirt. It could be the white thing. Only your locals are gonna get it. You know what I mean?
It's a different time now, so
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still gonna do it, but
Yeah, you got to be I'm worried about that. That's funny. Yeah, I had to look up Birmingham and the area. I had to look up some stuff. You know what I mean? I got to educate myself a little bit. So see where you're from.
it's an interesting place. There's
Yeah.
a lot of towns like this. When we travel, usually going to Grid Life, all the neighboring towns at those tracks are just a bunch of Birminghams. It's like at one point in time, it was a hubbub of output, right? So whether it be steel or textiles or anything back in the day, I guess 60s, 70s and before, it was a booming town, and then it just crumbled under its own weight.
Oh wow.
People left. Birmingham used to be the richest city in the country, and it had the biggest buildings. And then
Yeah.
this was forever ago. But there's so many cities like that in America. Like the Midwest is covered up in them.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't it called like the Magic City or something?
Magic City, yeah.
Magic City, and then like something about don't you guys have like all the resources for steel and iron like right there?
Yeah, they call it Steel City. That's why we were the richest. Is what's his name? Rockefeller. This was his hub. And I mentioned earlier that there's trains everywhere. Right where we are, we're next to Sloss Furnace. It's like right here, neighboring us. And that's where they made all the steel. There's a million train tracks around here. Some are functioning, some are not. It's actually haunted. There's a guy that died there. He got melted by steel. Several men. So it's haunted. I'm friends with them, though.
Hey, I actually just found a picture of the white thing. If anybody's watching right now, it's
Literally,
insane.
I was gonna
that
say
anime guy.
Yeah, it does. I hear something on the desk, and I think James is like,
I forgot to mute my fucking
Like,
shit. It
I'm
came
like-
out of my questions list.
I'm like, what are you rolling a cigarette or something? Like, what the fuck's going on here?
My bad.
Yeah. That makes sense though. So the scene there now, car scene, is it decent or not?
And I don't want to. Yeah, it's just it never blossomed.
Okay.
There's some guys. We got some locals, but yeah, it never really blossomed. Cars and coffee is typically a good indication, and cars and coffee is just exotics or pseudo exotics.
Yeah.
Pretty rare that you see a built car like the ones that we all have and build. It's rare. But there's some.
Isn't there a pretty good like mini truck scene down there? There's like something in Alabama. It's like right on the coast every year. Some crazy show. I forget what it's called.
I don't know that world, but probably there's definitely the street takeover business is doing good.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
You can't get away from it anywhere. It's fucking crazy. No shit. So then, cool. So you got your CRX, you got the Honda Tech stuff. People are starting to recognize what you're doing. When did you decide to start? Because I know you're 17 years doing Chase Bays now. When did that pop into your head? Ooh, I could make this a business, or did it already start? You were doing it like on the side and hooking up some bays.
Side note: Landon said it's called scraping the coast.
That is correct. Yeah, yeah. As soon as I read that, I was like, "Yep, that's it."
Yeah. It's funny how businesses start sometimes where it's a total accident, and when you're a teenager, because I was late 17, 18 when this kind of started, you're not really thinking about tomorrow. You're just like, sort of impulsive. But yeah, I wanted to go to college, to Auburn University, to be an industrial designer. And so people said, "Hey, I want you to do that to my car." And I said, "All right, well, $450, I guess, is what it'll cost." Because I thought it took me 8 hours, but it was actually 16 to 20. And so this guy in Phoenix, Arizona, he said, "Hey, if I pay for your flight, will you do it?" And I said, "If you get 10 dudes to pay me $450, then I'll go out there for 10 or 11 days and then do a group buy type thing." And I can't tell you why I picked 10 or anything. It's just the number.
Right.
And it was a 10-day ordeal. So we made it happen. And there was a huge forum back then called AZHT, which was, Arizona Honda Tech. And they had a car scene. Like SoCal and Arizona probably had the best Honda scene back then. And then near Honda Day, which is somewhere in the Northeast. But yeah, so I flew out there thinking, I've always had a bit of poor judgment of time, but I thought I'd, start at 8 or 9 a.m.,
Right.
dilly dally my way, be done at 5 or 6, and go drink Corona or whatever I was drinking back then. And yeah, so first one, it's just shit goes wrong when you're working on a car, like this bolt strips, these headlight. He had this headlight conversion, and it was all hacked wiring that I had to fix. And so yeah, the first one, I don't know times, but it was 8 to basically 3 a.m. And then I had another one booked for 8 or 9 a.m. the next day. So I just slept a little bit and then started again. That process repeated, and I got a little bit better.
Yeah.
Shit would go wrong. Like I had a soldering iron that broke and had to go to Fry's Electronics and get another one. But yeah, so I mean, 18 years old working, that's pretty. I mean, I've never worked that hard. My first job was Taco Bell.
Hell
fired.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got fired pretty quickly for making a quesadilla, a chicken quesadilla in a burrito format. So they weren't ready for that.
They weren't ready for that
It
world.
was probably great though.
Dude, it was incredible. They have it now. Actually, I invented it.
Oh, fuck.
They were selling weed to the drive-through, but that's okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when you drive through, that it's if you ask for Verde, you get weed.
Oh, they still do that?
Yeah. No, now they have Verde sauce, so it's confusing.
Oh, damn.
That's so funny.
So yeah, I was working. What is that? I mean, 12 plus 14, 16-hour days.
Too many hours.
But I mean, when you're that young, it doesn't matter. You're just, I just wanted to kick it. I didn't want to be working all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pretty much did that for 10 days straight, and it was miserable. Also, I was in Arizona during the summer. And so if you've ever been to Phoenix, Arizona during the summer, it is not pleasant. And most of them didn't have garages. It was like an apartment.
Oh, jeez.
It was an apartment where they would kind of have shade for half the day. Yeah. So I'm not complaining. I'm just painting the picture. So
I'd be complaining.
it was miserable, but it was also what a beautiful time in my life.
Right.
Yeah. So did that. Made money. That's a lot of money for an 18-year-old. And then by that time, it hit like hype had built, and then there was 10 more people who were good to go. So canceled my Southwest want to get away flight, and did 10 more. And so that's when I'm like, oh, I can raise money because my parents weren't going to pay for my college. I said, okay, now Auburn University Industrial Design is making more sense. I can raise this money and pay for my first semester, and then I'll just keep figuring it out. And so, yeah, I came back with $8,500, $9,000 at 19, and a nice suntan. I looked very Egyptian.
That's awesome.
And, so that's how it started. And then I did that for a while. I did that for about a year. I came back, and then I got 10 people in North Carolina, and then Southern California, and somewhere. It's funny, I don't even remember. I think Jersey, and I kind of just did this little tour for a while, and then I went to the IBOC meet at the IBOC factory. If Honda dudes will remember it. And then at the time, Johnny Wong was the editor of Super Street, and then Aaron Bonk was the editor of Honda Tuning. And then I just walked up to him and said, "Hey, you should put me in your magazine. Here's what I do." So
No shit.
yeah, a month later they featured me, and I was in the back, and they called me Wire Tuck Drifter, which is foreshadowing. But,
right.
so I got in Honda Tech, and it was all good. But by a year, I hated working on these cars. I dreaded it because there was always I was a pushover back then. So they would say, "Hey man, while you're doing that, can you replace this or do that?"
Oh.
I had a couple of guys who would kind of bully me, and I would just say yes because I wanted to. I didn't know. I didn't know how to say no back then, and I always was just miserable. And yep. So then I decided to make it into a product. So then I said I can make brake lines, fuel lines, and a clutch line, and then my friend can make me a WordPress website. And then I called it Chase Bays. I had not named it Chase Bays until I made the website because I was forced into just calling it something.
Yeah,
So
that was just you had to pick something. So you were like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, I'm Chase. I'm doing engine bays, so Chase Bays, and
Yeah,
A match made in heaven.
match
it's
made in heaven.
that's pretty crazy. That's neat. The tour though, you know what I mean. To get to go around like that is pretty neat. I mean, granted, you're working the whole time, but it's still just you're traveling and meeting new people and stuff, and yeah, that's pretty neat, especially that young.
It was a good time. I mean, I got better at it, and I scheduled instead of like 10 days to do 10 cars, I would do 12 days to just give myself time to party or do whatever I wanted. And I met some people that I'm still friends with today for sure.
That's super cool. And then how long? So then you this is still you're going to college.
Yeah, I
doing the
thought I
college
was.
thing.
Yeah, and then after the first year, though, at this time I'm 19, and after that first, well, not even year, but first few months in business, I moved to California. I got in my CRX and drove to California. And y'all know Rywire?
I do not.
Okay, we were
I do.
roommates. We were roommates for a while. So he was my CRX buddy, and we were roommates for a bit, and then just did the California thing because that's where the industry was, and so just tried to get in the magazine every month. Because that's like back then that's the only form of marketing. There's no Google ads. There's no social media.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like, MySpace was a thing. Nobody was marketing their business on there.
No, I
So I
miss
just-
magazines, man.
Yeah, me too.
I
No
do.
more real Super Street. It's like
Yeah.
it's online kind of. But
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss that whole it was. I mean, you getting in at such a young age, that's so fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's neat. And you have that, I'm sure you have that magazine somewhere saved. And it's it's history.
Right there,
you made that history. And it's now it's oh man, somebody posted me on Instagram, but they also posted 20 million other people. It's not, I don't know, it doesn't have the same feel. Like, Chad, you were on the cover, right? You were on the cover of a magazine.
Yeah. And my Civic was.
See, that's what I'm saying.
awesome.
I want a fucking cover. I want magazines to come back.
It's
It'd be
wild that
so
Del
cool.
Sol Damien wasn't on a cover.
Yeah, really.
They stole my image to sell their body kits for remember when you would open Super Street and there was 20,000 little tiny body kits. Like you could look at every single
Yes.
car and you could barely. I was one of those.
Wings West.
Wings West for sure. Kaminari, like all of it. Yeah, I was the purple Del Sol. So with the Buddy Club front.
Dude, I remember.
See?
Sorry, I don't.
Oh
That's
yeah,
cool.
they stole my shit, but yeah, I do. I miss magazines. I miss magazines and DVDs and stuff.
Dude, DVDs. Holy shit.
These are great.
Well, I mean, that's what we were, because 411 Video Magazine was big in skateboarding. If y'all ever, and they had a one for BMX. I can't remember it. But yeah, getting the CCS magazine or Active or Dance Comp.
Yeah.
You looked at every deck and all that stuff, and then same with cars. I came from 411 subscription, and so that's how I got option. But yeah, man, it's wild. I don't know. Maybe we sound like old geezers, but it is different. There is no, when you went to Kmart and you saw your car on the cover of a magazine.
That's what I was saying.
That was crazy. There's really nothing like that anymore.
Nope.
No,
There's
not
no.
at all.
That's such an honor. You know what I mean? Like, and it's something you can be so proud of. And now it's like, I mean, I get stoked when like certain people repost our shit. You know what I mean? But it still doesn't have the same like I need that physical magazine to hang up. Like, I just think that's
It's not a
super
feature.
cool.
One picture is not a
Right.
feature. Like
Yeah.
it used to have a full spread, pages, possibly a cover, or even like a DVD part with your car.
Right.
Like
Yep.
just a feature in a DVD. Like that was so much different compared to now, where it's like you might get like a 10-second clip on somebody else's Instagram, and that's like
Yeah.
the pinnacle. you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
It is. It definitely is still. When people post one of my cars, I definitely get excited still, and I still feel the I don't know the word. I kind of feel honored still, and I'm appreciative of it. But it's almost insatiable now, where it's too temporary because it moves on. But for that month, if you were February, if you were February 2007,
Yep.
man, you joined a club. You really did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, front cover, spread butt cheeks, Mike Honcho. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll grab the first cover I got in a minute. I'll grab it later.
That's cool. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Rich, were you ever in a magazine?
Never a cover. I've been in a couple like little magazines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some stunt riding magazines. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Well, even a feature was awesome. Even if you're not the cover, you're one of those cars. You read the mod list, you read the story.
Yep.
You saw all the pictures you wanted to see.
I wish we could bring it back. I just know that it wouldn't be supported. Like, you'd have like a bunch of old guys that are like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Magazines. But they would just die so fast. It would have to be like
tried. Yeah.
People have tried. Yeah. Lock City up north is doing it now, but they're doing it like based, I think, around their own events, which is cool because that means at least that group of people will buy them. You know what I mean? And keep it circulating. That's kind of cool. But like, yeah, S3 is the last man standing. And I think they're done.
They don't have an actual physical
physical's done.
magazine. Yeah, that's the magazine I was on, and they don't have physical copies anymore. They stopped that, I don't know, 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
But yeah, Jake just said Mini Trucking just started back up. I did see that. I was thinking about resubscribing. That was my first magazine subscription when I was a kid. So I was thinking about getting back into it. But
no shit.
It's just wild because everybody's attention span is so small. Like you're not going to get somebody that wants to read something. Like think how quick you flick through Instagram. You have a second to capture somebody's attention, and if not, you're just getting scrolled right by. So to get somebody that's going to like pick up a magazine is almost unheard of anymore.
No, it's just those old guys. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even us, would you really sit there on your sofa and read an entire magazine?
Yeah, probably not anymore.
Go
So
to the
here's the
airport
thing.
and like, there's no magazines in the airport anymore. It's like,
Oh wow. Yeah, I can't
just
read
puff
that well.
pieces. Like if you go to whatever CNN store or whatever it's called, Houston News. What is it called? Hudson News.
Hudson,
Yeah.
It's just puff pieces. It's like Taylor Swift, and people just worship her.
trash.
It's not actual articles. Remember Teen Beat? Not that I read it, but
Teen
Right.
For sure not.
I can't remember them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember this. I was subscribed to Super Street. I know that. Import Tuner I was subscribed to. Delia's because I think the models were hot.
Delia's?
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's,
Delia's.
Claire's magazine.
Claire's because I like their earrings.
Limited, not limited to because it's not a pedophile.
No, I can't remember much, but yeah, I miss it. Physical media is pretty cool. I guess I'm not gonna tease it, but no, I'll wait. But there is some physical stuff that is coming out, and I'm behind it. But yeah,
Are we making a magazine?
it's gonna be physical stuff, but it's not gonna be a magazine.
That's
But
crazy.
I will-
A newspaper?
We're gonna go straight newspaper. No, if you pay attention to some stuff in the next week or two, there's going to be a big drop, and that'll have some information. Then I can talk about it. But I'm doing a physical piece again because I know it's not going to like sell. So it's just going to be kind of for like memories. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's bring back magazines. How many times have you on the cover? Just once, or did you get a couple magazines?
I've been on several.
That's so sick, man.
Yeah, I had when I was in California, that was kind of the goal. I wanted a product in every magazine, So every car, like if a car was featured, then it would have one Chase Bay's part or product or something
Yeah.
And we made engine ground kits. That's our oldest product. It includes 3 8-gauge grounds and then a 2-gauge negative terminal. And it's only 5-star reviews because it's super effective. People's grounds usually suck.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I know it was just I don't know what it costs right now. I think 89 or back then it was $49, $39.
Mhm.
They're like, it's the most effective thing ever because I didn't realize how poor my electrical grounds were. And now my lights don't dim. But that one
Right.
was easy, and it was always so visible because you'd have like an Evo, which we never made products for, but it had a ground on the valve.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
that-
fuck yeah.
yep. But yeah, that was just the goal back then, is just to be, and I became like close friends with all the editors and associate editors, and learned the inner workings of the magazine and how, they even back then they were struggling because it cost so much money to print the magazine and distribute it, and they lost money so hard, and they had to get a certain amount of advertisements to just try to break even and pay the bills. And so even back in 2009 and 10, it was suffering.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, just kind of a side rant. But.
No shit. Yeah. And you said that was what was your very first product again? Like you're like actually selling.
Yeah, engine ground kit.
The ground kit was the first one. Okay.
Yeah, and we still have it today, and the design has barely changed.
That's cool.
That was like first on the online though, right? You weren't flying around to different states to do people's ground kits.
No, well, I hard stopped. So the moment I came up with a product, I stopped traveling. I would only do that if it was the same kind of way I do it now, where if there's some sort of promo involved.
Right.
Because
it makes sense.
It takes too much out of me to do that. And so I would only travel. I'd drive to, somewhere in Inland Empire when I was in California and go help them install some stuff because the photographer was there and it was going to be a build series in Super Street or something. Yeah, it was pretty quickly. That was ground kit was the first one, and then it was clutch line, and this is all for like Honda B and K series, and then a brake line relocation where we sometimes delete ABS, but it would just add a proportioning valve and stainless lines, similar to what we make today, but just for Hondas.
No shit.
And then I built during that time. That's when I was in California. That first year or two, I built my K series CRX. That was one of the first K series CRXs. Now there's millions.
Now, yes, yeah. I love like I mean, I don't know. It's just a man thing, but being like the first, you know what I mean, of anything. Like it came up on 2 years today. I just shared it that me and James did the first like Verosa fronted IS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the 2-year anniversary, but it's so neat to do. I don't know, just to be able to say that. You know what I mean? Like you're the first into this. You're the first. We did that shit and move on to the next. But still, no, I like that stuff, and I don't think a lot of people really. I don't know. They don't think about that. Like, what hasn't been done? You know what I mean? Because right now, everything's been done, but there is always something.
Not everything.
Not everything, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fucking cool. So then the business side. So you got inspired. You were doing that. You were traveling around, and then you saw the potential for growth. You did the business stuff. You did you finished college, right? You went through college?
No. So
you just ended it.
I didn't even start.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
So I'm in California, and then that first year, I made, I want to say 30 or 40,000 in sales,
right?
And which now is like $10 million to me. And I said, well, this is what I would make fresh out of college, and probably for a few years out. So let me just keep doing this. And then it just kept 1 year, turned into 2 years, and then eventually I said, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Plus, I was in California at the time, and Auburn was far away. So,
okay. And how long were you in California?
Well, yeah, I mean, and contradicting myself, I was only there for 2 years.
Okay.
So, the decision was made, and actually moved back 3 or 4 months later.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then you've been just smashing away at it ever since.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the origin story is so detailed, but then there's also, I mean, so many years and so many issues and so many fun things and so many stories to tell within that period. It's just every year was like the next stair up.
Yeah.
But I do spend a lot of time telling the beginning story, but then after that, it's kind of rinse, repeat. But if I sit there and explained it, I have just as many stories about it. But yeah, there's the first employee hire. My first employee was actually Greg Bussell.
Well,
No way.
you fucked
Oh,
up
shit.
there. Yeah, like you really fucked up.
No, man, we had a good time. So I moved back from California. My lung collapsed spontaneously, and
That can happen.
that can happen.
What the fuck? No shit.
Yeah, I was just chilling. Pop the lung. Yeah, hardcore pain.
Jeez,
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
when they stab you in cold blood to put in a chest tube.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but the insurance didn't cover it, so I had to part out my CRX to
oh,
yeah, and but moved back, and I needed to. It was growing. I needed to hire people, so I mean, it's so even back then it was so expensive in California. And then maybe if I was born and raised in California, I would just accept it. But knowing that that 1,000 square foot shop was 3 times the price, I said, well, I'm going to go back to Alabama because I can get a shop for nothing and make more money.
right.
And at that point, it felt like this was late 2009, or maybe 2010. So I don't know. Magazines were phasing out. The world was changing. You could reach more people through the internet. This was Facebook was starting to be relevant. You were able to market your business a little bit on Facebook back then, if I'm remembering correctly. It would be from your personal page, but you could kind of wheel and deal.
Sure.
Forums were still relevant. So I saw a pathway for it. And then I had so many contacts in magazines that we could kind of continue to do that thing. But yeah, moved back and hired Greg. We built stuff out of my living room
That's so cool.
and partied.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's
We
neat.
hate Greg.
Yeah, we don't like him. No. He's such a sweetheart. And then so when you moved back here, it was like shop instantly, or you were just like you chilled for a little bit?
You mean like getting a shop?
Yeah, like getting
yeah.
like the business.
I want to. It was maybe a year or less that it was operated out of our a living room in a townhome.
Okay.
And then ran out of space and then got a shop. Small.
Is this your like second shop, or what shop are you in now?
Oh, several.
Really?
We moved shops every other year for the last. I need to get my years right.
Do you have more shops lined up?
No,
Yeah,
hopefully-
the leapfrog.
He's got him for every other year. Like, well, fuck, we got to go in 6 months.
Yeah, no. Luckily, we're here for a while. We're 14 years of shops.
Wow.
We've had shops for 14 years, so probably been in 7 or 8.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Many.
Yeah. This is the best one. Do you have like the worst one? How bad was the worst one?
First one or the second one was the worst. The first one was a large storage unit.
Nice.
And so my neighbor was a bigger business's storage. And they'd come by and be like, man, y'all are using this for a shop? It's fucking hot in here.
Yeah.
Yep, we're
That's
poor.
yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
And then we moved out of there and went to a slightly larger, slightly nicer shop, but there was a mouse infestation.
Yeah, that's not good. Especially if you're trying to you're wire tucking and then you leave for the night and they just rip everything. Yeah, all your fucking work.
All your harnesses are eaten every morning.
Dude, it was gross, man. Your kitchen table or your computer desk is just covered in mouse droppings. It's no fun.
Shit all over your lunch. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then I had my first worst landlord. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
We were actually neighbored with a cheese straws place, like kind of bougie Cheez-Its.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where the mice came from. So it's kind of weird because, were people eating at the store?
Oh, gross. Yeah.
Pretty gross. But yeah, that one was probably the worst. But ever since then, we've kind of slowly moved up. There was one, so we had a shop where we had a huge parking lot in the front, and we used to have free drift events in the front.
What?
Yeah, we called it Still City Drift.
That's so. Oh, I saw somebody actually said
Landon,
Steel City.
yeah.
Landon. Yeah. That's cool.
I've tried so hard to make drifting happen in Alabama.
They're not having it.
Yeah, I did free drift events, and we tried to build a track back then. I did we had a little bit of land that we were going to buy, and I did a Kickstarter, and it got 1% funded.
Oh, yeah. Does Alabama just hate fun? Is that
I think so.
just like
You got mid pond, right?
Well, okay, so yeah, well that's another story. We found that one later and we've enjoyed it since. But yeah, it's just not the industry here. I mean, the hot rods are big, 4x4 stuff's big, and then now like Polaris razors are huge.
hell
It's
yeah?
just it's a
Yeah,
little
I can see
more,
that.
I guess, just more southern here.
That makes sense.
But we do have Barber. Barber is one of the best tracks in America.
Is that like a
Racetrack.
road track?
Racetrack.
Oh,
Yeah.
road
Yeah.
course, yeah.
Yeah, they do. I mean, SRO comes here. The Rolex series comes here. Indy races there.
Mm.
It's a legitimate racetrack. You've probably seen it. You just didn't know it was right down the street from us.
Oh,
I
no
don't
shit.
know. I don't watch cars racing.
Yeah, James doesn't watch
Sounds
anything.
kind of weird. I
James
stopped
watches-
listening when you said SR. That the first thing you said was SR. That's
You
all
don't
I
like
heard.
it? You don't like SRs?
No, I love SRs. That's
He
where I
hates
wanted to stop hearing anything else. It's like we have SRs. Perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
funny. Oh shit. So, I mean, you have to have like good barbecue and good other stuff around there, right?
We've got our pros. We got our pros.
Yeah.
We got good barbecue, great food. I was going to say that shop that we had the free drift events in the front parking lot. That the roof caved in our warehouse.
Good.
That's the worst one. And
Good.
I had a nice, clean two-tone S13. I still have it. It fucked the roof up pretty good. Sad.
No shit.
So that's the
Yeah.
worst shop.
Yeah,
And the landlord just said, he said, "Well, just move the car. It'll be fine."
Nice. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. That's funny.
But ever since then, we've gone up. Every shop's been better and better. Now our
Just because expansion wise, is that why you keep moving shops? You're just getting bigger and bigger?
yes. So we've never borrowed money. Not until I got into commercial real estate that I borrowed money. So it was always trying to turn 5 into 10, 10 into 20. So I could never. It's been tough. We've been bootstrapped from day one. So my budget per month was only a little bit bigger than the last shop, but we needed more room, and then I would find something. But it was always hard to get something that was, 1/3, basically twice the size or something where we could grow into it for a few years. And this is probably a lot of businesses, or I know it for a fact it is, but our business, it's not a very linear growth. It's very much stairs where we plateau for a while and then boom, it all comes in at once. And just 1 month will be, 1,000 more. And then the next month is 2,000, 3,000. It's very rapid or more, 5,000, 10,000. So it's interesting. It'll just, as soon as you get accustomed and you go, okay, cool. We got our layout. We've got everything has space. Suddenly for 3-4 months straight, a lot of sales come in and then it seems consistent. And then you're scooting around pallets of stuff and you can't even, put things away. You're just fulfilling straight out of the pallets. And so then you go, oh shoot, we got to move. And so then you move into a place that's only maybe 15% bigger. And you're not, then you can only grow 15%. And so we've had to move a lot. It wasn't until 2020 that I was able to get a place twice the size that we could grow into. And we have grown into it.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
fucking cool.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks. But we can go up, so this has very tall ceilings. That was something else that limited us before, as we didn't have the ability to go up. So
Yeah, vertical space is massive. That's like, it's such a game changer. So is
Do you want a forklift?
oh yeah.
are you certified?
Very certified.
No, but
That's where I was going with that.
But I'm better than a certified person. I can do all kinds of stuff.
Self-certified.
Damn.
Sick.
I've never
Self-certified.
I've never stabbed a man with one, luckily.
Good shit.
Try harder.
Yeah.
Rich, you've only said just horrible things.
That's all I do.
Rich has only weighed in to talk about death.
That's
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He's
kind of my role in the group.
Yeah, people don't understand how much of a goth Rich really is. He's like,
It's-
yeah.
I think it's all because of Cat too. Like Cat comes in here like Team Death,
Bad
Yeah.
influence.
You
Yep.
know, blood sacrifices at his house every night. You know?
Yep.
That's just like a normal thing in this area.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
What do you think causes that? The inner goth, the darkness. What causes that? Because you seem like a pretty happy guy, and I am too. But I have a dark, I have a dark side as well.
I don't know. Video games, right? Isn't that what they would say?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
you don't
so.
even play video games.
Blame it on Grand Theft
Shut up,
Auto.
dude. Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah, you definitely don't play.
Music.
Yeah, there you
Gotta play
go.
something. Well, I have a
It's all
question.
Grand Theft Auto's fault. That's for
So you
sure.
said you were thinking about building a track. Are you still thinking about building a track?
That's
That's a
Rich's.
great
That's
way to evade an answer.
no. That's also that is definitely his mindset though too. If it's not like, hey, let's build this track or death, he's not
Yeah.
or guns or whatever, killing stuff.
It goes hand
I
in
have
hand.
50 cents to invest.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, I
Now
got
we'll be at
Consider it built.
1.00001 funded.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we tried. So we found Mid Pond. It was a kart track that was owned by a local dealership owner, cool dude, Randy Visser, and we ran the show for a while, and then Ken bought it, and it's been going ever since. And Mid Pond's great, but like I'm thankful for Mid Pond. I'm glad it's there.
Mhm.
On the last podcast, I made a joke and they got mad at me. So, but I really do feel that way. We got our
Make
friend,
it this time. We won't get mad.
well, dude, it wasn't the podcast person. It was other
Oh.
people. But it's funny because I talked to Ken. I talk to Ken all the time. They just didn't know. They got offended, but it's all good.
It was like an
The internet.
probably too inside. You know what I mean? For
Right.
if they didn't, they didn't know.
Well, it's like when it's your friend, you're like you fuck with them, and then if people don't know that, they're like,
Oh,
wait a
yeah.
minute, that's my friend. I'm like, okay, hang on.
Yep. Oh, we
Just
do it all
text
the time.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
we're
sense.
literally like, fuck Front Street, fuck these guys,
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
you know what I
Fuck
mean?
Chad.
Fuck
Right.
yeah.
That's
But
the
like, yeah.
popular one.
We're in good company then. But yeah, Ken's been running it for a while, and that's been really good. Like, because I mean, I'll take the credit that I found it and made it happen initially,
Mhm.
but they've like taken it and ran with it, and it's been good. And it's weird because, like I mentioned earlier, Alabama, it's never been a big hubbub of drifting, and there's not much going on. Brian said canceled. But we have Driven Luck Circuit and Mid Pond both in Alabama. So the only two really dedicated drift tracks,
Mhm.
one of the only two in the country, are in Alabama.
That's super cool. Driven Luck is far from you, or
No,
is
it
it
was
pretty
there.
close?
Yeah.
No, it's an hour and a half.
Oh, that's awesome. I was actually just talking to them because they just put up like for the Florida friends, if there's any, I was just like, good for you. You know what I mean? Like more people need to like be just good people, because that's a big deal with the hurricane stuff happening. But yeah, they
Yes.
seem like a really cool group.
They're the best, man. I really want them to succeed, and they have huge plans to expand. Somebody said, shout out to the Dillards, the Dillard family. It's it's two sons of the parents, and they're all involved. Like, it's a family thing.
That's
And then
yeah.
When you go out there, they're all running it. It is really cool. But the original question was about the track that we tried to build.
Yeah.
I finally had funding. So in 2018, instead of renting, I bought my first building for Chase Base to move into. And ever since then, I've dabbled in commercial real estate to make, actual good money. And, Chase Base is fine. It definitely takes care of stuff, but I want a yacht.
Right.
Hell
so-
yeah.
Yeah. Or, whatever, a bunch of Skylines and JZX100s, whatever. Same thing.
That's the same thing. Yeah,
yeah.
same.
Yeah, money pits. So, yeah, bought that building, and then so I've built a good rapport with the bank, and so I said, hey, here's the budget. We want to build a small test track. Maybe kind of a little bit bigger than Mid Pond. So I think Mid Pond's 3/4 of a mile. So we wanted to do something closer to a mile, and think like Mihan or Bahoku.
Mm-hmm.
Mid Pond, but new and smooth and just simple. Kind of like what Driven Luck did, just very grassroots and all that. And so we had a location, and then we posted about it. I had approval. I went to the city 2 and 3 times. We had approval. We had a sound ordinance. We had everything, and then posted it. And dude, it was awesome. The locals flipped out. They literally picketed down at city council, and they had signs that said it was like 4 of them, but it said "Stop McMaster." It said "Stop McMaster Disaster."
Oh man, really?
Nice.
Yeah, we had shirts. Yeah,
That's pretty cool though, to have like that picketed against you.
It's a cool name.
That's a pretty cool flex.
I loved it, man. That was a lot of fun because I kind of got a chip on my shoulder for a minute, and I felt like I was, and I mean that in like people are out to get me, but in a funny way.
Yeah,
know, I got-
100%.
I got to play the victim sort of.
Yeah.
all for goofs, but yeah, we made shirts and sold them, and for a while we moved to another location, and we had city approval, and then I had my son, and as Rich knows, it's tough the first. How many months are you in, Rich?
One today.
I was gonna say one.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Look at his
Yeah.
face. Look at his face. That'll tell you all.
I got 3 hours last night, so I'm good.
Yeah, it's touch and go for
Okay.
that first while, and your priorities shift a little bit. I mean, we're men, so it's kind of a slower. I feel like it's a slower burn than it is with women, because women will. I mean, they grow the baby, so they immediately have these traits and skills that they need. Mine were delayed, so there's the kind of the struggle there. But it's
I'm not
touching-
running a business while I do it, so it's a lot easier for me.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was trying to build a track too, and yeah, it didn't.
That's wild.
It fell off, and yeah, it's been radio silent ever since. Maybe we'll make it happen, but the trouble too is that everything got so damn expensive. The budget was $250K. Now it's going to cost $1 million to build.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's such a shame.
Yeah. So I don't really have plans to do anything right now. It might work out eventually, but it's just such a risk and such a loss. And I'm too gain oriented now, buying a building and selling it for X in a certain amount of time. I need to do many more commercial real estate deals or grow the business significantly more to where money's kind of grown on trees. And it used to sort of, and it has not been since 2021. Just supply chain problems, everything's just kind of costing more. So those profit margins then, and so it's not on the horizon for a while.
Yeah.
Tracks
It's
are
a
tough,
shame.
man. The
Yeah.
neighbors will ruin you.
Yeah, they're all getting killed. All the tracks are closing. It's tough.
That's too risky. I mean, if I invested, let's just say even 250K and it gets shut down, what am I going to do?
You got
Right.
a bunch of asphalt to do nothing with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the only way to do it would be to buy 1,000 acres, right? Make a damn city, and then put a 1 mile track in the very middle of it.
Yeah.
And then all the trees will absorb the sound, and then
Right.
but that's just, it's going to be $3 or $4 million to get that kind of property, even in the boons.
Yeah.
All said and done. So that's just all these
That's a
tracks.
A lot
All
of
these
track
tra-
passes to pay that off.
Dude, I mean,
$3 or $4 million back.
yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah, at least you have. I mean, that's cool to have Driven Luck, and that's cool to have Mid Pond near you. And like
Polecat, too.
I was gonna say, you yourself you're still doing stuff though, as if you kind of had a track. Like you have your event coming up, which is what, November 30th. Yeah. You want to talk?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because that's actually
That's a good
exciting. Is that your first time that you're kind of doing an event, or it
Yes.
is? Okay, sick. Hell yeah.
because we did 3 free drift events, but that doesn't count. That was just come do swirlies in a parking lot, But yeah, this is the first legitimate event, and Polecat. I know you've driven it, Rich. Have any of y'all driven it?
Yeah, me and Rich did it.
Amy did a couple laps. Yeah,
Yeah, till my turbo
Such a good
line
track.
fucking
Yeah. It's fun.
It was really fun. While I was out there with a shitty car, it was still a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's sort of, the elevation change is unreal, but it's all third gear, and it's all fast, and it flows so good. There's not a turn where you kind of stop up or where you feel like you can't link it. I don't know if you did full course, Rich, but
Yep.
yeah,
We had to pause at one point, just like we slow pause and hit the next section.
Yeah.
It feels super Japan though, like the way it runs, the elevation,
Yeah.
everything. It's a cool track.
Yeah, we're gonna do full course, and then that straight in the middle, everybody can just kind of, cool off right there and keep going. But yeah, Polecat's awesome. It's like it's made for drifting. But it is our first event that we're doing. I went to several customer appreciations in Japan when I was there. I went to a Vertex one. I went to a Car Modify Wonder, and it was so cool. And it was like, the way I've been explaining it is, it's like a backyard barbecue of drifting or of motorsports, right? Because a lot of the stuff we do is kind of more fun based, but you still don't get a lot of seat time, and there's a comp in the middle of it, or it's a comp, right? I mean, Rich, you did Formula Drift, and then even with Grid Life, they have so much going on that you really can't change tires. Like you get a 20-minute session for 3 times in that day, and that's what you get. And we're going to keep doing it. We're happy to do it. It's great seat time and at beautiful tracks, but we want to have something that's a proper racetrack that you get tons of seat time in. And then we also wanted it to be kind of style driven and high end feeling. And we also wanted to mix road racing and drifting, because we do a lot of road racing here. I did Time Attack last year, and then Brian, he races in the Chase Bay's GLTC car. Are y'all familiar with GLTC?
I am.
I'm not.
James, I
I
know
want to get into it. Yeah.
James, I know I lost you at G.
No SR there, buddy.
Is it just like a Time Attack? Well, not a Time Attack series, but is it like similar to the JGTC, like how
Correct.
it was? Okay,
Yeah, it's
that's
Grid Life Touring Cup. So Time Attack is time trial, right? You're just racing the clock. It's a lot of fun, but we're like legitimate race car, 60 cars on track at once kind of shit. It's insane.
That's cool.
So we have a ZN6 with a K24 that we raced in last year. We did a whole Road to GLTC series on YouTube. So that shit's fun. I enjoy doing Time Attack. I want to do GLTC next year if the budget allots. If not, we'll just do some NASA stuff, or I'll just do some NASA stuff just to do wheel to wheel. I know for a fact we're doing champ car endurance races. But anyways, the event is that a lot of people are curious of what's going on across the aisle, because road racers used to hate drifters, and drifters used to not really care about road racing. But suddenly, and I think Grid Life is to credit for a lot of this, people are interested, because I think that a lot of drifters who are more style driven think that race cars are ugly, or that they're just a function based thing. And then that's not the case, because you see cars at Grid Life that are insane. They're carbon dash, PDM, Motec, mil-spec harness, beautiful, just full race car. Like the GT4 cars are all extremely high-end cars. They're not kind of what that typical SECA car, nothing wrong with that. But they're just like a car with a lot of suspension and a cage that haul ass. And so I think what's happening is a lot of the drifters and road racers all at once in the last year or two are very curious of what's happening. So we're going to bring all of our road race guys that we sponsor in our own car, and we're going to do a mix and match. And so there'll be kind of just an open track day. We're not going to have a race or anything, but we'll have tons of drift time, and we'll only have 2 run groups too. So a lot of track days you go to are beginner, intermediate, advanced. We're just going to have advanced track guys out. So we're just going to have a drift run group and a track run group. So we'll get plenty of seat time. But I want to mix and match the paddock. And I don't know if we'll do it this one, but I'd love to have drift cars try to grip.
That's what I want to do. That's what I asked.
Yeah.
So
That would be fun.
But just, so it's the first time doing an event. We had a wish list of drivers that we kind of wanted to get out and sponsors, and literally we've hit all of them. Like everybody that we want to drive is going to drive. All the sponsors that we wanted are coming out. It's going to be awesome, and it's now I'm feeling the pressure of like trying to deliver. But I'm just trying to find the best of everybody. We've got Final Bout helping us. Swan's going to come out and run grid and make sure everything's safe there. Grid Life's coming a part of it. Knuckle Up is a part of it. So I'm trying to ask as many questions as I can. And the fact that we have such a good driver list, I don't know what the spectator count's going to be. That's going to be the only huge challenge, is to make sure that spectators go smoothly, because it's one in, one out. For spectator entrance. But overall, I'm super pumped because it's in Tennessee, and because of the way it looks, it's going to be the Cracker Barrel Sunday of motorsports.
I'll say, honestly, that track was probably the fastest drifting I think I've ever done. And it's one of those tracks where it makes you think like the same thing. Like, I would love to grip drive that shit. And I think that drifting has gotten faster. And as drifting gets faster, it promotes that, like, this is pretty fun. Like, going fast is fun. And I think it crossed the boundaries of, like, grip racing isn't that lame. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably super fun. I think it kind of, like, I don't know, it just bridged that a little bit. Because I know for me, I wasn't really ever interested in grip driving at all. Like, it was always drifting. It was NASCAR when I was younger because I was, forced into it. Yeah.
Well, I still love it. It's awesome.
So
Dega, they were just there.
Yeah. So it's NASCAR early, and then I just went right into, like, the drift stuff. But as we're driving, we're getting faster and faster. And I'm like, man, this thing would be fun to just grip drive it and like test it, you know? So yeah, I think that's kind of the like you say, you know, of course we're breaking the boundaries with grid life and stuff too. Like they're getting to see those really cool builds and see the cars rip it, but I think it's also just drifting is getting fast. So like we get interested in speed, you know? It's the adrenaline rush. So
It's true, and I think just to use grid life as an example, we do the grift versus drip, which is where the time attack and the drift cars are out on track at the same time, and then that kind of I don't know if you did this, Rich, but when you're on track in your drift car and you're around like a time attack car, you're like, oh well, I'm out here for 20, 30 minutes. Let me just do a grip lap real quick. So I know a ton of drifters that would take their fully prepped drift car and do a grip lap, and they go, holy shit, that wasn't bad. The turn, the mid corner and corner like exiting the turn, the car wants to drift, but braking and turn in, a drift car is gripped up. I mean, it handles it.
I switched my car to like Hawk pads and stuff for the last one because I was trying to keep up. My buddy Eric Magnuson does like the grid lights too.
Yeah.
And he's super fast and like I could never keep up. So I tried. I got smoked pretty bad, but
he races
kind of had me hooked.
GLPT.
He does.
Yeah. Brian and him have raced a lot. He has a LS FRS or LS ZN6. Is that right?
It's he's got it's like Phoenix Yellow E46.
Oh, the gold. Yeah, it's gold looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's fast. He's very fast.
So he had me hooked. So I'm trying to like figure out how to make my car drift and be a little bit faster, but I'm very slow as a driver. So
where'd you do that at?
that was at Midwest.
Okay. At Gingerman?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Damien. Because a lot of times in America, we would have really fast entry, but the big sweeper or the transition in the middle of going 70 and 80 miles an hour was kind of uncommon. Because if you think about it, maybe y'all can help me think this through, but there wasn't a lot of really, really fast tracks that we were doing. It would just be maybe you got to 90, but then you'd return to like a 40 mile an hour drift.
right.
And then Polecat is every bit of 60, 70 miles an hour in a drift, like in mid corner.
Yeah, especially coming downhill, that was wild.
Yeah.
Downhill and I don't think people understand the elevation there too. Like that was insane when we got up to the top of it, and I see Rich is already just fucking gone because he's the fastest fucking driver I know. He says he's slow. He's like he drives so fucking fast.
Wait till Brian's out there. He's fast.
And I'm trying to get into it, but like that momentum to go down that hill and then instantly right back up was crazy. Like absolutely crazy.
Was that your favorite section?
I love I like the top, but I also really liked right after that where it's just like
Big
it was
sweep.
like it was like toge back to back. You know what I mean? Like we were doing some really fast shit through there, and it was just that was excellent. You know, inside. Then there was that long sweeper at the end.
Yeah. Sweeper's the wrong word. It's like kind of S's for a minute.
Yeah.
Really wide S's, and then that big sweeper onto the straight.
That was cool.
Yeah, the downhill is 120 feet, and it's
crazy.
interesting because you're that is probably the sharpest turn on the track at the top.
Yeah,
and then you haul ass and you hammer down for like half the hill, and you think you're not going to make it, but your car compresses so much that you can haul so much ass. I want to do. We're going to do a reverse entry contest. I think we should do it on the hill.
Oh,
the downhill or the
crazy? Yeah, the downhill. Oh my!
It almost pulls the wheel out of your hand. It's gonna be tricky.
Yeah. I wanted to try it a couple times, but we need to do it a couple. We'll probably just do the normal one on the other side of the track. But yeah, if your car's too low, it would jackknife the exhaust.
It should be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool to watch, right?
Yeah, that was wild. And I remember we started. Our line went from staying on the track to going off the track was the better line too, going down.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember that, Rich? When you were like,
drop the one tire.
Yeah,
out.
we would just drop the one tire, and it would pull you all the way down, so you could just like hit that. Like that was crazy.
We were low power too. We were like 250 horsepower, which is you can do that track, but you're on it.
I was struggling. That car was not healthy either.
Where would you drop a tire on the top?
No, coming down on the outside.
Okay.
Okay. You're talking about maybe the other outside downhill, aren't you, Damien? Maybe
the really insane straight down. Like it feels like you get all the way up, and
that's
then
the same one.
Yeah, and you go straight down, and we were just like outside and just digging in, and it was just fucking. That whole day was just wild. That was super fun. I wish my car was running good, but still.
You got time to get ready.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, are you gonna drive this one?
I'm trying. So it sadly won't be Corolla though. It would be Verosa. But I think the Verosa would do better anyway. It's a little bit more higher powered and, does some fun stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the vision for the event. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I we'll see. Maybe we'll just ask in the drivers' meeting if we want to do a session. And we're going to do a drift versus grip where they're both out on track at the same time, just like Grid Life does. But maybe we'll ask and see what everybody thinks about doing a mini time trial or something in drift cars.
That'd be sick. That'd be super sick.
So cool.
I think everybody's going to be like, fuck yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't know how we'd time it. We can ask Brian how we'd time it. I think just an aim in the car would do it. But yeah, maybe we could just see who has the fastest lap time in a drift car. The only really difference is, I mean, besides aero and all that, but you don't necessarily need that. It makes the car faster. It's all alignment and like tire size based. So my E36 is a drift car, and I'm gonna make it a temporary time attack car. So Ackerman is typically not good on a drift, or not good to go from a drift car to a time attack car because the wheel, like one wheel is going to be scrubbing in a normal corner, whereas in drifting it's better. So if you have Ackerman adjustment on your knuckle, Brian said the times would probably be far enough. A stopwatch for it. Okay, we'll do it old school. So if the Ackerman changes, like if you have Ackerman adjustment, you would change that. You'd have to realign your whole car, but it's a lot. Like basically, if you just made Ackerman like a stock car, if you realign the car would be significantly faster on corner exit. Because on corner exit, it just wants to drift because that's the dynamic, and the Ackerman's going to send the car to do that. But even if you just take that away, the car grips up pretty good. And then, of course, if you have a smaller front tire, the car kind of behaves a little weird, but you could still, I mean, the car could still, fucking go.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be sick. It'd be really, really fun. It's that and drag racing, the drift car. I'm always curious to see what the drift cars do down the straight, just time trials wise.
Yeah. Well, the intention with the E36 is to show people how fast drift cars are. Because the E36 makes 450, and we'll dial it in really good. And because we'll actually change the tire, we're going to change tire sizes, do a proper alignment, and then the Ackerman. I think it'll haul ass at the track, and like it won't even pick up all of its time in the straights. It'll actually. I think people would be shocked that most drift cars are running like 10s and 11s on a drag race, and then the race car, a track time on a typical drift car, if it's set up, just suspension and tire wise, I think it would be significant, like faster than GT3 RS Porsches and stuff. Maybe. I don't know. That's
stretch. You always want to do that stuff. Take one car and do like multiple series with the same car. Just little tweaks, but generally the same car.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool. Yeah.
I know I've gone off sideways now, but
no, we love it. We love it. So
hopefully it's a series. We should run more of these. Do this one event, but then do a bunch of them.
I'm down.
Yeah. Is it going to be, do you think, is this going to be something that you're going to continue to do? Some more events here and there? Or just see how this one goes and play it by ear?
Right now, I would love for this to be an annual thing.
Okay.
As maybe people's final event before the season ends. Maybe like a mid to late November like we're doing now. We'll see how I feel after. The track's pretty expensive to rent, so we'll see if we come out at least breaking even. That would be nice if we can make a little bit of profit. So I can, eventually you got to make a profit or else it's not worth it.
Right.
But I mean, it can correlate into marketing and customer appreciation and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to do it. We really love the track. We love the track owner and JR up there. And so, yeah, I'd love to do it every year.
That'd be really cool. What do you have anything else planned besides like the actual like the event? Do you guys have anything else that's like big that's coming up?
Well, and before I forget, at the event we're going to do a Saturday kickback. So after the track goes cold, we're going to have not a party, but we're going to have I don't know, call it a meet, just a gathering. And we're trying to get Jack Daniels to sponsor it because the Jack Daniels distillery is 10 minutes from the track.
Yeah, I did the tour when we were there.
Really?
I went and did, yeah, it was cool. It was really cool to see. So
I was just there.
were you really? Oh, that's
Yep.
right. Yeah, wasn't it neat? Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really cool.
you were 10 minutes from Polecat.
Damn, didn't know that. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, anything coming up? No, just hope to have a productive off season. Oh, we're releasing a ton of new products pretty soon.
Oh, nice.
We kind of haven't done in a while. 2021 and 2 kind of threw everything for a loop where it was sort of survival mode.
Yeah.
So we hit pause on some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're about to hopefully. I mean, we have enough to pretty much release a product a week for a long time.
That's exciting.
Actually, probably two products a week for the next year.
Jeez.
Are you
Wow.
focused on like grip or drift or both? Is it kind of like
Both.
universal stuff?
Yeah, what we're doing a lot of now is oil coolers and oil catch can kits.
Mhm.
A lot of the cars that we support they don't have an oil cooler kit. Everybody's left to, y'all know, y'all have used our universal oil cooler. But you make your own line. We make the oil sandwich adapter, but there's no brackets and a duct and lines, crimped from BMRS. There's no full inclusive kit for a JZ 240 or an LS 240, or it's funny I'm calling it 240 today. I usually just call it S chassis, but or swap ZN6s, A86s, E3646, all the popular chassis. There's not really good kits for it, so we feel like we're really gonna have the market cornered on that. So pretty excited. And then catch can kits. In Japan, I realized how many people don't have catch cans, and then I started paying more attention. And most people that have catch cans they're just literal cans. There's not any baffling or a way to drain it or get rid of it or recirculate it or anything. And our catch can is legitimate, like multi-baffled, and actually separates the air and the oil. And so we're going to make quick install stuff where it's not AN, but it's high-end Gates hose where you could have a bracket with a catch can, push on the valve cover, and everywhere it goes, and have it installed in 10 minutes. I think that's going to be really valuable for guys who just want to solve the problem and move on. And we'll make the bougie AN kit too, where you have to pull the valve cover and weld it or put the press ins and all that stuff. We'll definitely, we have options for that, but kind of the just lower hanging fruit stuff that could be used for drift or track or street cars, like highly necessary stuff to solve more problems.
That's cool. It seems like that's kind of like your thing. Like you get excited about finding problems and then solving them.
Yeah,
I've always
true.
I kind of seen that. Like all your products are kind of like, to fix this problem of this, we came up with this, which is really cool because I think there needs to be, that it needs to be there. Through the from the beginning, what product really hit? Like, do you have one that as you guys started to sell the stuff, you know what I mean? Like it like took you over the top, like a pinnacle moment in the business, like that really just killed the market.
Handbrake.
Handbrake. Okay.
When we first, everybody makes a handbrake now. That's it's crazy. But when we made the first handbrake, it was 2015 or 16, I believe. And there was only a couple options. It was just ASD, a couple drag race companies, and a couple others. And at the time, everybody was doing, I think PBM made one too, but everybody just had a Willwood clutch pedal, like universal clutch pedal bracket, and they would just turn it upside down and put a handle on it. And the problem with that is that you get the wrong ratio. And they were really wobbly. And we've had several versions, but the intention was that it's comfortable, because a lot of handles are really uncomfortable, like they're big and bulky and their hands get hurt. And then stable, and then compact. So we mount the master cylinder sideways, so you can tuck it under a center console or something for clean street style cars. See, that was the big product that I felt like took us from, this and that to, we can be like, I don't know, it's a force to be reckoned with, or trying to start becoming not a force to be reckoned with, but more of like, we can become a household name. We can have products on really high end cars and well-known cars.
I mean, the handbrake was everywhere. I've seen it in Literally,
I've had
so
like 7 of them.
I was gonna say so many. Yeah, I think once people realized that the ASD handle was the worst thing to pull on, it just hurt your knuckles. They because that was huge. ASD was it. You know what I mean? And that's probably
They have
because
the
your
legacy. Yeah.
Gittins and your Forsbergs and all your other guys. You know that was a big deal. But yeah, once they realized that fucking sucks. You know, to
Yeah.
pull on. Yeah, I saw literally. I think I can. Oh my god, like all the homies, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
have your hand break, which is crazy.
Well, the plan too was to make more a wide array of colors and handles and all that stuff, but it's just kind of been so busy just keeping our heads above water that hasn't happened. But we did a 24 karat gold one, which has been fun, and then we did a collaboration with Charm, the guys that came to Final Bout.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, we did that, and so we're doing a collaboration with Naoki. That one's that's fun. I mean, it's gonna be pink and purple. And
Of
so,
course.
yeah, we wanted to by now have more colors and more kind of diversity with all that, but they've solved the problem. They're black. They blend in. They're very
Right.
comfortable.
It's the
And
best part.
I can't prove this, but I do see ASD is definitely our biggest competitor because they have the legacy, right? The people who like, man, I just want the ASD because that's what I saw in those first cars, even if it hurts my hand. I think we make a better product just out of comfort and proper ratio. I don't know. I feel like we've got to be one of the top 3 sellers of the handbrake, as a whole. But maybe I'm wrong. But
I would say
there's
Put
some
an
good
ASD
options.
in my JZX only because I can bend the handles on purpose because I wanted it to come out and kind of like turn a little bit, around my seat. So I knew the ASDs were weak where I could kind of heat it and bend it. So
That's funny.
that's what I ran in that car.
That's cool.
no shit.
Yeah, I'm competitive, but not in like the insecure way. Like I give credit where credit's due for sure. There's a lot of really good handbrakes out there, and there's some that you can bend and you can make them do what you want to.
Every other car's in the chase base because I can hide it. It's flat.
Yeah.
Put a boot on it. It looks normal.
The big thing about ours is that it was one of the first handbrakes that was designed to be a handbrake rather than like a clutch pedal upside down or clutch pedal bracket. And because of that, you use a different ratio. So a lot of people that are running ASDs or Nameless or any of these other brands, they have to think too much about their rear calipers, right? So like piston size and master cylinder size and all that stuff. But the problem is totally upstream. So if the ratio is right, you can use a 3/4 master cylinder and it will lock up a tiny single piston caliper or giant 4 piston calipers. Because when you go into like a manual system with what a handbrake is, it's all leverage and output based. So the ratio on the Willwood upside down bracket is a 7 or 7.5 to 1, sometimes 6 to 1, which is what your foot, can push. Like our dual piston is a 6 to 1 ratio. Clutch pedals can be 6 to 1 ratio, but when your hand's pulling it, it's not as strong as your leg, and typically you're pulling yourself out of the seat. So we make it a 10 to 1 ratio to where, because people will argue with us, they're like, oh, you need to use a 5/8. I promise you, we've tested it. There's hardly a difference in the pull when you have a single piston caliper in the back or a 4 piston, because it's all leverage and master cylinder size and master cylinder bore based. That makes the other things downstream less relevant because you have the leverage to push it no matter what.
No shit.
Yep.
Speaking.
So maybe it sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm not trying to. It's just we were
No. This is the Pilot Podcast. You could literally just
we brag about everything.
You could just whip it out on. No, don't do that. But we brag about everything. Yeah. Watch this. Watch this. Fuck you, ASD. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, we're not kidding. They didn't sponsor us.
That. Yeah. Don't clip that. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I'm in good company.
We have fun here.
Good. Yeah. So okay, I'm not, but so I am bragging.
Yeah, fuck it, man.
We're the best,
Enjoy it.
and
There you
nobody can even come close to being as good as us.
Be proud of what
We love
you've
that.
accomplished.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we think compared to Front Street. We are the best, and they can't come as close to being us.
Oh,
Let's
God.
call them.
I wish. By the
Get Jimmy on the
way,
line.
I am working on like so we can call. You know what I mean? Like let's get him
that's
on the
gonna be fun.
horn. I can't wait. We got voicemail and we got text message, which already has been pretty wild. But we haven't got the call form yet, where I can get him in this. But I'm working on that because that'll be hilarious. Like, by the way, we got ASD on the line. Bring him in. No. It's just Vaughn Gittin,
Yeah.
He's so ready to rock.
Yeah.
He's so ready to rock. We've solved problems for him. I cannot believe that it's almost 8 or 9 where you guys are.
Oh, time flies.
It's
Dude,
already
Oh,
been an
yeah,
hour
yeah,
and
yeah.
a half.
time flies. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm not even done with my origin story.
No.
I still got a page of questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we got
Let's
a
go.
whole bunch. We got a whole bunch of stuff
Yeah, we
going
didn't go
on
to
here.
questions yet.
I'm
Yeah, that's
very
right.
long.
Hey.
I'm very long form.
No,
So it's like I'll tell a story, but I'll tell 8 stories on the way there.
I like that.
What were you about to say?
But so if you, Will is in the chat right now, and he was asking a question earlier, something along the lines of. Let me pull it up because it is topical.
Will is awesome.
He's a sweetheart.
Y'all know him?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was just DMing with him. I don't think I replied, but I was talking to him about our dual piston and our brake line relocation and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yep. So his question is, how much better the brake delete kit will make an inline chase bay's handbrake work?
Repeat the question.
He's asking how much better the brake delete kit will make a inline chase bay's handbrake work.
Do we know what chassis?
I'm assuming his S13.
Okay. If it's and a lot of cars have ABS units that you'll exit the ABS unit, go to the inline handbrake, and then go to the rear. It's just a lot of traveling to do, and typically when you delete ABS, the handle feel will get a little bit better. It'll help a decent amount. Just it's a pressurized system, so it's not necessarily like shortening the runs helps
Right.
a lot. What pads do you have? And
Do
are
you
you
have suggestions for those?
I do. Are you asking because you aren't getting as strong of a pull on your Chase Bay's hydro? Because I think he has Chase Bay's hydro.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we're waiting for an answer.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well,
what he
I'll
says.
go ahead.
We're gonna find out. Okay, go on another side quest, quick.
He said, "Shit,
Cool.
Duralast free."
All right. So
There you go.
the answer is if you do get a Chase Bay's brake line relocation, that's not really going to help make the handbrake pull any harder or lock any better. Your problem is your Duralast pads. That's another thing that's overlooked in addition to the handle ratio, which we solve, is pads. With our dual piston, it's very important to have a cold bite pad. But if you on a handbrake, it's not power assisted, so it can't just hammer down whatever vacuum you can apply to it. It's a manual system, so it eliminates. Basically, there's no room for error. So everything has to work properly for everything to work perfectly. And when you have a hydro, you have to have good cold bite pads, or else you're going to have to pull really hard, and it's going to feel like you can't get good lock unless your car's completely sideways. We are not sponsored by them or anything, but Hawk pads to me are the best pads ever. The HPS and HP Plus rear pad is so damn good. If you have an HP Plus on the front, it can get pretty squealy, but they have such an insane cold bite. Like even Project Muse Best Pad, or some of these other companies, and Project Muse is a great brand. Their best pad doesn't even come close to the HPS and HP Plus cold bite.
Wow.
Because on a drift car, you never really heat up the brakes, so they have to be able to have, like, the compound has to be almost soft in a way, not actually, but theoretically, it has to be able to grab the rotors without having actually any heat in them. And Hawk is kind of the only company that's ever been able to do that. Ferodo has some good ones. There's EBCs are all right, but why mess with it? Again, I'm not even sponsored by Hawk. We've just used every pad, and we've solved this problem that he's having. Probably 1,000 times, and it always fixes it. So, Will, you don't even need to go dual caliper. Go get some Hawk HP Plus pads and let me know how much
Report
better it
back.
is.
Yeah, report back.
And then the same thing applies to manual brakes, like our dual piston. On a drift car, I run an Hawk HPS front because the HP pluses will squeal really bad and they put out a lot of dust. And so they're very powerful. And if you want to have the best brake, the foot brake ever, get an HP plus, but you're going to be cleaning your wheels more. So I use a Hawk HPS front and HP plus rear because the HP, you're not really on the rear. You're not creating a lot of friction, especially with handbrake because it's just on or off. So they're not going to make as much dust.
Yeah.
You like them way more than the yellows? So I run the yellows in the front, but maybe I'll switch over because I want my car to be fast for grip day.
Yellows are all right. They're the closest thing from EBC, I believe, that has a decent cold bite. I've had those before and they've worked fine. Hawks are just they know what they're doing.
I used to remember every event I'd always have to like drive through the pits just holding my handbrake to
That's
warm
what
the
you taught
shit
me
up.
to do.
I told because that's what you got to do if you don't
I do
have...
like a lap on the track and I'm just like just to warm everything up and it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's still, and maybe you can still do that a little bit. The HP pluses and HBSs still like some heat, so it can lock with even less effort if you do. And the same in a track car. When you're headed towards a turn, all that vibration moves the pistons away from the rotors. So before a turn, you barely tap like a left foot brake in a track car to get the pistons loaded up so that when you hit the brakes, it's instant instead of a little bit of give. You can do the same thing with a handbrake too. Like if you're coming into it's not as big of a deal as it is on a track car, but I've kind of been in the habit of if I am coming into a big handbrake turn, I'll kind of just pull up on a little bit to seat the pistons and there's nothing wrong with some.
I would have never thought of that, but that's very smart.
It's not as crucial. It's not as game changer as heating them up or something, or as doing the foot brake on a drift car. But if you just want it to, a tandem, like if you're in a sweeper or something like where you really need to like use your handbrake a lot, that's where you might want to load it up. Just because, as y'all know, like you're handbraking every 2 or 3 seconds if your car is fast.
What do you mean? Nobody. Yeah, don't use handbrake.
Yeah, that's illegal.
By the way, I can't give that out either. I got some future stuff coming out that deals with the handbrake, so I want to keep this surprise.
Oh, no.
Are you making one?
Yeah.
Cool.
No, yeah, I just
Thanks for letting me know.
Day bays.
That would be day interiors.
Yeah, there you go. I'm down. Hey, so speaking of your booster delete though, I did want to talk about that because that thing is just gorgeous. I love the setup. I love how clean it is. That was one of the coolest installs that I've had to do, like recently, like the line kit and everything was really cool. So, but I know that's like one of your big boys, isn't it?
That one was, if the question was the second product that put us more on the map, that's it.
Yeah.
Because it's a extremely useful product in a track car.
Yeah.
We've posted a lot of videos of our GLTC car in the braking zones. A lot of these guys still have power brakes. We all have ABS. Our car destroys other cars in the braking zones because you can control manual brake better. But what car did you install that on?
The 8.6, the Corolla.
Cool. Yeah, that one's a pretty easy install.
Yeah, I just had to bore out like a little bit, which is all you had it like outlined easily. You know what I mean? It's like just got to do this, and it was like boop, done.
Like the little moon cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some cars are really hard to get under the dash.
Yeah.
My R34 is like not an actual cage, but everything is blocking it. All the stock shit, dude. It's so hard to get up there. S chassis is kind of hard, but 8.6 is really easy. ZN6 is the easiest. But so let me give you 2 tips on that to make it good. Manual brakes are obvious. I guess y'all don't know, but manual brakes are on race cars. They're on most fast race cars. Like IMSA cars have manual brakes. F1, NASCAR, they all have manual brakes. So the common misconception is that manual brakes are not good. It feels like you're putting your foot through a wall. But this is a master cylinder and leverage, basically a pedal ratio issue. Same thing that I said earlier about the handbrake. You have to have the leverage right for the manual brake to be able to get the output, like the volume that you need. So our dual piston changes to a 6-to-1 ratio, which is a common, say a tilt and pedal box, that they sell to be manual brakes. They would typically be 6 or 7-to-1 ratio. So 6-to-1 ratio for more leverage, 1-inch master cylinder. and is almost universally applicable to every chassis and every set of caliper sizes and everything, to get predictable braking. The reason manual brakes are good is because if you go out and you drive your power brake car, if you think about it, push the brakes once, feel how much stopping power you get, do it again, drive, do some throttle and do some left foot braking, and just notice how much that pedal moves. It's different every time. You can't have a fast track car with inconsistent brakes that are either touchy or spongy. And so manual brake, when you do dial it in, when you do have the proper leverage and the proper master cylinder size and pads, you can get, like, if this is your travel, every time it's the same. This is 50% braking, this is 100% braking, this is 99, this is 95, 90, etc. So you're able to, because it's all muscle memory, right? We kind of drive with our butt, and you know that you can put this many pounds or this much pressure toward your brake pedal, and then you'll be able to get max braking before lockup, or if you have ABS, before getting into the ABS too much. And so we figured all that out with the dual piston, and of course, having a proportioning valve that you can adjust the rear bias, which it comes with it. But yeah, pads are so important. It's like in red on our product description, but people still will use Duralast pads and wonder why they can't get a brake out of it. I think people just don't believe the pads are that important. But I was going to say, the push rod, you know how it's separate on the dual piston? Okay. So you have to preload that to get instant braking. So we make it to where there's dead space, because a lot of people like dead space, and we wanted that option. But I like instant pedal.
Yeah.
Because when you push down on it, you're still going to get maybe 2.5 inches of pedal travel, and so it's still plenty of travel. It's not like this much travel where it's hard to modulate. And then when you're in a track car, you want to be able to push the brakes about 2 inches and then heel toe. Get your push rod, bleed your brakes, get it extended out to where there's no play back and forth, and then take it out and then add 3 millimeters. So expand it out, lock it back in, and then sometimes you can push. There's nothing happening on that first 3 millimeters of travel on that piston, which makes it DOT approved too, but that's another conversation.
Hell yeah.
Well, and we wanted to be DOT approved, especially for Australia and Japan. DOT's us, but their version of that.
Right.
So those first 3 millimeters, nothing's really happening. So if you have a car that's easy to get to, you could push the piston in and then get it onto the our pedal adapter, and then you'll have 3 millimeters of preload, and you'll have like instant braking. It's phenomenal, like one of the best feelings, and it gives you such good driver feedback.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to back it out like a 0.5 mil, and for reference, 1 turn is 1 millimeter.
Perfect. Okay.
So if you have like a little bit of drag, like if you jack your car up and spin your wheels, if there's a little bit of drag, just get like a 1/4 turn out of it at a time until it goes away. But
sick.
That makes it to where you have instant braking. So great feeling.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't gotten on the ground yet. It's been up in the air because we're doing all the rest of the stuff. But like, I just love the install, and I mainly the reason is Rich said he loved it. He loves the manual brake. So I was like, well, one, the Corolla it's a Corolla. The brakes suck, already. So why not just upgrade? And yeah, it was time. So yeah, I'm really stoked to get on the ground and do some braking. Actually, I have a really good reel I'm going to make for you too. So that's going to be secret, but I have a really good idea. Yes, it's
terrifying for him.
Are you going to throw up on it?
There's no vomit in this one. No vomit, I promise. But I have been working on my editing. So I've been practicing. Yeah, there's going to be some fun shit.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's been fun teaching the drift world about manual brakes, and a lot of track guys even run power brakes still. It's fun to convert people. It can be a learning curve. We have a card that we include in the box, and we say, give it 2 weeks. Like do the preload, get the right pads, give it 2 weeks. Most people by a day, they're adapted, and then a lot of people like Tom from Front Street, those guys you hate.
Those guys you hate.
Fuck those guys.
Tom. Yo, I gotta say though, Tom's adorable, so we'll let him slide.
Okay. I'm gonna let him know. I'm letting him know right now.
Damien,
I'm
thank
going to
you.
his house tomorrow.
Are you
Are
really?
you?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Okay.
Well, he's doing all that like crazy work, like sewage
he's-
stuff, and
His poo-poo pipe.
his poo pipe.
Yeah, he literally just sent me a text and he said the poop pipe is fixed and sent me a bunch of pictures of it.
Perfect.
I
But-
love watching that shit. Actually, that's another thing. Let's keep going, but I want to dive into your house, so keep going.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, like I've talked too much and I've gone
No,
sideways.
it's
Well,
great.
I'll close it out at the Tom. I got him to do dual piston.
Mhm.
He was like, "Man, I don't know, blah blah blah." But the first time he really drove it was at Final Bout, and then they got second. They did as good. I think they would have won if there wasn't that one little screw up on the downhill. But I don't know. Proceed was killing it too. So, anyways, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, he said, "Dude, you've made my." And this was just in private, like he hasn't even said.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you've made my driving better because now I have never really left foot braked, and I've never really thought about modulating to brake more or less. It's always just been on off.
Yeah.
And he said, you've made my driving better because now I'm using it to guide the car in a better way. And it's been fun teaching drifters or trying to tell drifters about manual brakes because I get it. Like power brakes work and it's all good. Like I'm still working on Toshi in Japan. Like he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know about manual brakes. He's killer driver, so it's hard to convince him that he's going to improve because he's so damn good. But it's been fun just saying. But there's a space that you're killing it at driving, but there's a little bit of room where you can create more control.
Mm-hmm.
I told those guys years ago, like Josh and Tom. I told them to drive my car like 3 years ago how much better it is. They're like, oh, I don't know if I don't trust it. It's like I don't know if I want to do manual brakes. I heard it's really hard. Like,
yeah, that's the thing, man. It's just education. If anybody ever says that, just say, look, IMSA, and maybe they don't know what these things are, but just say NASCAR. Well, that won't work either because people
actual race car drivers.
Well, people don't. Okay, how about this? F1 cars use manual brakes.
Mm-hmm.
They are you can't brake harder than that.
Yeah.
So when you say that, and then you kind of walk it backwards.
Rally everything. They're all manual.
Rally is manual. Yeah. Shit. The rally guy drove Adam LZ's GTR that they set up for rally, and he was like, "These brakes are trash. You need a manual brake."
Yeah.
And now our dual piston is on that car.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
I've had manual for years.
It's just drifting. Drifting's so young that there's this line. It's like track days were in the late '90s. We're growing. We're learning about setup, and that's what's weird about a lot of people. A lot of our products are misunderstood because we have a full foot into motorsports on the other side in road racing, and we understand IMSA, and we do. We've done a lot of very high end road racing, and there's a disconnect where you can rip, you can drift with a very simple setup, but it's all about getting better and being able to control the car better. So there's still kind of a disconnect in drifting where they're still learning about what's normal in motorsports, like manual brakes or like other things that are just new to them, So
there's a lot of punk rock still going on in it. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, I got what I got, I can do whatever. But I think you're hitting the market of the guys that like, I want to keep honing my skills and get better and better and better, and you realize that there's other steps that need to be had. You know what I mean? Like other things that are going to help you be able to finesse this or do this, and it's knowledge you got to learn. So you get those guys like I see it though, which is cool. Like you're starting to get the quest. A lot of drifters are like into they're like they want they have the foundation of drifting, but they want to keep pushing forward and learn the different techniques and what they can do with the different tools provided. And I think there's still the punk rock scene, but there's enough of us that are getting towards like, I want to get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think you're hitting that demographic where like, ooh, I could, like Tom said when he texted you, like that's pretty monumental that it changed. It made him feel that way, that his driving improved because of a actual part upgrade that, that's awesome. Like, yeah. And he's not going to crash as much anymore, maybe. You know what I mean? So like,
I don't know about that.
Unlikely.
So two more things on this, and then we can move on. David made a good point, and I always forget to make this point just because I get stuck in the technical aspect of it. But turbo cars and big cam V8s, those are two things that make your power brake suck more. Because when you're in full boost and you try to left foot brake, it's a vacuum assist system. That ain't going to work. And then a big cam has doing big cam things. So then your power brakes are going to work worse because it's not in proper vacuum. So those are even more reasons. And I was going to say something else. Oh, James Dean is obviously a killer driver, probably won more drift events than anybody in the world. And if you watch him drive, he runs our dual piston and even our single piston on his cars. Not the RTR car, obviously, but like all of his cars run the Chase Bay's manual brake. And if you watch him drive, he uses the handbrake and the brake because a lot of people use a handbrake for just lockup, but you can kind of create a little bit of braking or a lot of braking once you get to a certain point. And the same thing with the foot brake, where he's creating like a certain amount of, I guess, like pitching the car through his, just insane driving ability. That's obviously you don't start out like that, right? We all agree that you start out simple and slowly work your way up. Like nobody's driven more than James or Naoki or all these killers. So I'm just making an example with him.
No, sure.
I'm not expecting, most people to go and be able to push the brake 2 millimeters different and get what they want out of it.
Right.
It's just like that's what you're working towards.
You're saying if we buy it, we'll be as good as James, though. That's the
Pretty much.
So here's the pitch. So
tread lightly here. All right, we can move on. I know I've talked on this topic too much.
We're about to make an ad for you. So if you want to drive like James Dean or Naoki,
or
James here
James
first, or James Carper,
or James Carper. James Carper doesn't have one. We can show the clips of him shooting off the track.
I
guess that's actually a good contrast there.
The comparison, perfect. Rio, can we clip that?
If you want to drive like James and not like James, talk to that guy.
Yeah, there you go.
That guy.
This guy. No, that's fucking awesome. Any other products you want to touch on? We're in some products, so we might as well. I know people are listening. People are excited to hear what you got to say because of what you built and your product lines. You know what I mean, and what you're working on. So, anything else that you want to touch on before we dive into your house and your personal style?
Yeah. Oh, okay. We make a lot of fluid power, fluid transfer type products, and they all kind of solve problems. And like you mentioned, we enjoy solving problems. I think, if you buy a power steering kit, make sure you buy the cooler if you're drifting or tracking your car, because we've had a lot of basically bad press because people are trying to drift their car and boiling their fluid over and fluid goes everywhere. And they're blaming us when they don't have a cooler.
Or they fill the reservoir to the top.
Power
to the top. It's like,
it's maybe tech tips and just we have it on our website, but that doesn't mean that people follow it. But yeah, it's such a valuable thing to have a cooler on your power steering system if you're drifting it or road racing it, or time attack or anything. So just keep that in mind when you're doing stuff. So yeah, and we make a great system, and it's very, 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 very developed. And you notice that all the top drivers are using our power steering reservoir. It's become, which I'm very proud of. It's like a staple, even if they have their own lines or EPS or something, or not EPS, but or I guess like electronic hydraulic steering. They still use the Chase Bay's reservoir because it baffles the return so well. And when it's halfway filled, not filled to the brim, but halfway filled, it doesn't expel everywhere, or it's got really good baffling to just slow that return speed down. So yeah, Frederick Osbo, James Dean, Rich Whiteman, all the top drivers.
All the top
wild
drivers.
That you said top driver and mentioned Rich. That's
I heard
crazy.
right there with Dean.
Oh, I love it.
That grinds my gears. I always talk about that because people, you see comments where people are like, "Oh, Chase Bay stuff leaks." It's like you're doing it wrong. You put too much fluid in a reservoir. It's not how they work, or you tighten your lines too much. BMRS stuff doesn't leak, but
I know
a lot of idiots and drifters.
I know it's interesting. Somebody asked if we make our own fittings. So we make our own adapters, and we use BMRS hose and hose ends. So our adapters are class 3A threads and hard anodized. You cannot be better than that. And if you look at them, you can tell, and you can measure. And it's a 37-degree flare. It's a Viton O-ring. It's a proper aluminum crush washer. These are kind of universal things that I didn't invent. And then the BMRS stuff is the same stuff that Indy and NASCAR use. So it's totally not debatable that it's the best stuff. We use the best machining. if there is a leak, there's a reason. And fluid shows itself when there is something wrong, which is nice. It's not like suspension where if your alignment's bad, it's just that is what it is. Like the arms are just 3 points, and if they're welded, it's all good. Fluid, it's normal. Like when I tighten like an oil cooler fitting once, it leaks sometimes, right? Because the flare has not seat, it doesn't seat, right? So you loosen it and tighten it, and loosen it and tighten it 3 times, and then boom, you have a seat, and now it suddenly doesn't leak anymore. But you'll have the guy like that who maybe a crush washer misaligns or a flare doesn't seat, and they just immediately are like, man, these lines leak. It's like, work with it a little bit. There's a reason it's leaking. Everything's highly developed, and it should tell you that at this point, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I didn't have this, but now we have like such a good portfolio, such a good resume of so many drivers, and us personally racing and drifting nonstop and having zero issues. That you shouldn't say, oh, chase-based stuff leaks. It's just fluid finds a way to leak. There's a reason. An O-ring has misaligned. A flare is not seating. There's a reason. We just have to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a temperamental system. It's like clutches, right? If there's nice, Brian, thank you. If a clutches are like a love it or hate it type thing, right? Like, oh, spec clutch, hate them, love them. Comp clutch, love them, hate them. There's always like good and bad, but it's kind of easy to fuck up because it's spinning at 8,000 RPMs and grabbing immediately, and a lot can go wrong. Not that it's really comparable to what I'm saying, but it's extremely temperamental systems. Power steering is 2,000 psi. Braking is the same, and so if sometimes there's some troubleshooting involved, like even at the Tesla factory where they're making a Tesla, they'll pull it up and start to bleed the brakes, and it pours out of the one of the fittings, right? And then they go, shit, and they have to loosen it and tighten it, loosen it and tighten it, and they're like, man, I just can't get this one. And they take it back out and then put it back in, and then boom, it's sealed, and it's sealed for the next 2 decades, or 3 years for a Tesla before it dies. But you know what I'm saying? It's like the same thing I was mentioning earlier about like the perception of drivers as like, sometimes something might leak, but there's a reason. You just have to get it to seal, and it won't leak anymore. Not to say that we've had, everybody's going to have an issue at some point, and if that is the case, which it's rare, but if that is the case, then our customer service is flawless, and we will always take care of people.
Yep. Yeah, things can happen for sure.
Yeah. Usually it's not the case, and again, I'm willing to say, oh yeah, that's a bad crimp or something like that. Whatever the case would be, we'll overnight you something. We'll take care of you. Don't worry. Like, we got your back. We're not like those companies that leave you hanging like a lot of them are. But in most cases, it's my dual piston doesn't work. It's because your brake pads. My handbrake doesn't lock up. It's because your brake pads, or because this or that. Or, my power steering is leaking. Take that out, inspect the O-ring, clean it off, put it back in. You won't have a leak. That's just,
yeah.
I wish that people could see our tech support, the amount of problems that we solve where they think something's wrong and it's not.
Yeah, I could see that. No, for sure. That's super cool. Yeah, that's neat.
Yep. I feel good about it. All right, let's talk about other stuff.
Did you want to jump in? I don't know if I wanted to miss this question really quick, though. I was able to modify a Chase Bays DC2 clutch master cylinder. MS clutch.
All right, let me read it. I was able to modify a master cylinder. I think it's phonics.
Yeah.
When you type the sound. Made it work for my A86. Yes.
Been asked about my.
Yeah. I actually just sent
Max.
Who did I send that to? I sent a JZX100 clutch master cylinder adapter to, I can't remember, Brian Hartsock. I just sent him one, and he's going to let me know if they fit. But we make, let us know. Send us an email and let us know how you modified it, and then. But I'm pretty sure our JZX100 one works, and we want to make 8.6 stuff. They're just so dang hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Sick, man. Well, I'm super stoked on your products. I enjoy what I have. I know Rich runs a lot of your stuff, and he's
For
had great
years.
success. Yeah, for years. So he was my gateway drug into into you guys, and I can't wait to see how my breaks feel. But I like the nerdness of the lines and everything. Like it's cool. You definitely have a passion for what you're building, and I can see that with like the design aspect, and I can see like when you kind of like you build something and then you here's a reiteration of it. We found that this better to do it this way, you know what I mean? And that's really neat to see in a company, because I feel like most are kind of just like, here it is, buy it. You're like, here it is, we found later that it'd be better if we did this. Check this out, here's V2, and it's better performing. And I really like salute you on that, because it means a lot to us that are using it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be able to get a refined product and something that seems like you care, like you're paying attention to the stuff, and that's just really fucking cool. So I salute you, sir. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, and that's very it's very painful behind the scenes, because change is hard. And once you have something that works, I have a dog here on me.
I hope it's a
Hell
booger.
yeah.
I hope it's just a big ass boogie. No, I'm just kidding.
I got a cool Aussie dog. No more boogers.
Aw.
Yeah, he's beautiful. It's tough. Change is difficult, because it gets harder too, because you have to change the SKU, you have to change the bill of materials, you have to
Right.
you hope your machinist doesn't make the old version, and then you have to delay the new version more. We're very quick to make positive changes if we need to. It's nice when you know it's good and you can just exist. Like our power steering reservoir, we have one change to make just for G-force, because we had an E46 M3 that was on slicks and made 400 horsepower, and it was fast as shit on track, and it actually exceeded its capability, not because of anything but the G-force. So it needed like an oil pan baffle for a power steering res. So we have a design. We're going to make a small change, but yeah, it's nice when you can just go, all right, this is good, don't change it.
Yeah.
We've had the
Grounding kit.
grounding kit, yeah. But I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is probably the most important question that we got all night. Your skincare routine.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
You are glowing. You're glowing.
Thanks. Well, I had my bright lights on earlier, and I was literally glowing, and I kind of freaked out for a second. I'm like, I really don't want to be this shiny. my first outing since the war.
I like it.
But yeah, my skincare routine is simple. I wash my face with beef tallow. Well, beef tallow is, I guess you do call it beef tallow, right? Yeah, cow, like basically fat.
Okay.
And, like tallow soap. And but this is like, Rich should know, this is like an Amish thing. Your Amish neighbors probably. But it's like most soap has like horrible chemicals in it. And side note, all these young girls on TikTok like buying every skincare brand of shit, because these girls are into skincare when they're like 14. They're gonna ruin their faces. It's gonna be like our generation in tanning beds. But most things have horrible chemicals in it that like eat your the positive bacteria. So I just do tallow soap to wash it, and then there's I forget the name of it, argan oil. I do that at night.
Argon gas.
Argon gas.
That is a gas.
Then I weld. I
do a nice bead.
Is argon? I think it is argan oil. Are y'all gaslighting me?
Oh,
gaslighting. I feel like there's some jokes there. I don't know what to do anymore.
All the jokes.
Double entendre. Yeah, it is argon oil, not argon gas, and I'm not being gaslit. Yeah, and then tallow moisturizer as well. So the cow has blessed the fruit.
I like that.
The fruit.
Is that a Martino design shirt that you're wearing? Because look at him. Dang, that's a good looking shirt.
He didn't design it.
Okay.
We do that internally, but he did make the shirt, and he made the shirt very well.
Nice.
He did design our Nabori flag and like that kind of thing that we've been rocking with. He did design that. We work with him a lot.
Cool.
We like Mike. He's a fast driver.
Yeah, he's a good dude. No shit. Hey, so speaking of your skin tears.
Skin
tears. Do you have any skin tears? No.
Tear your skin.
Yeah. It's Halloween. So, Rich, I see that you're not wearing your turtleneck, which I'm very
I
disappointed.
couldn't find one. Actually, look, I tried to get one. I forgot about it. Last
Okay.
minute.
I just love I just want to talk about your style, Chase. It's fucking great.
Thanks, man.
You have a really good style, and it's so funny because especially I'm sure you saw the dumb shit that popped up with Final Bout with that kid that was saying it doesn't make sense that they're sitting there with all these hot cars, but their style on their person was really bad. And I'm like, there's some people that are actually pretty fucking fresh, and you are definitely one of them. So I want to talk. Is that something? Are you into and just out of curiosity, you into fashion? Are you into design in that aspect, or it's just you just like to dress good?
I'm not like active in fashion, but I've definitely paid attention to it. I feel like I'm pretty simple right now. After 2020, everyone went so casual, but I used to kind of always have, short sleeve button ups. I'd keep all kinds of different kicks. And obviously our generation is like more sneaker based than like say dress shoes or whatever. But I think it's important to look good. I think it's an important part of being a man and even if it's like t-shirt and stuff, like there's a way to style it to make it look good. But yeah, I used to read GQ and like just try to like keep up with trends and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just try to look good.
Well, you do it well.
Growing my beard out, and we'll see how that goes. Y'all were talking about that earlier.
Yep. No,
I appreciate that.
No, it's cool. Yeah, it's definitely. I was just curious because I mean, I as a designer, like I design all the brands and like the graphic stuff for Smile Death and for the Karoshi t-shirts and our jackets and all that stuff. I fucking love it. Like I love color palettes and I love like the fashion stuff. It's just something that I've always been into. I don't look good in anything, so I don't dress up.
That's not true.
No, I look like fucking. I'm basically Shrek over here.
No,
So I try not to. I try not to. I don't need to, but I love to see other people. You know what I mean? When somebody can like really be like styled the fuck up, I'm always like, good for you. Like that's sick. So I was always curious.
Yeah.
Your personality is funny because it's kind of like that like Mike said, that kid that said we as drifters and motorsports we're unapproachable. You have this like you're styled up, but if I wouldn't have talked to you, you kind of seem a little like because you're all dapped out. You know what I mean? Like you would be like just
Excuse
get
me,
away
peasant.
from me. Yeah, excuse me, peasant.
He apparently was the more approachable one though, because he didn't have khakis and
Yeah, that's what I'm
a
saying.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's weird
Yeah.
how
we're doing it wrong.
We're fucking up. We're fucking up.
Well, it's funny. I make it a thing to wear my Gucci sneakers at drift events, and maybe that's too unapproachable. So I'll wear my normal Vans. Sometimes.
No, keep them Gucci's. That's sick.
But yeah, I've always, on the design side of things, absolutely, like very much into architecture. And I feel like I pulled a lot of inspiration for products just from architecture and non-automotive things. I felt like that was my competitive edge, is to not look at what other people are doing, but just to take other architecture and other inspiration and somehow implement those shapes. Like you never know where you're going to get inspiration.
No, sure. Yeah.
And used to read GQ, like I said, and I think it's important. I'm not going to say I'm like an art nerd or anything. Like I don't look at a painting and just start crying and be like, oh wow. But
yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to. I guess I do consider myself a little bit into the design aspect of things.
No, that's cool. I mean, you can see it in the product too. Like I can see like attention to detail and like symmetry and all the stuff. Like I can see that in your product. Like do you think you have like a little bit of like and this is a good thing to have, I think personally, but like an OCD with stuff?
A healthy one for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, most OCDs in my opinion are sort of fabricated. This is a side tangent, but somebody made a good point. The people who
Chad left.
Yes.
Yeah, I told you.
Sorry, Chad. Did I offend you?
He's so offended right now.
I offend easily. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, we can tell. Yes. So a little bit with clutter for sure. That's what kind of started a little bit like back in the earlier story. It's the clutter bothered me about the bay, and if I could just get rid of it and make it. But I love, a good zip tie session, getting like your hoses organized and routing everything properly and thinking about, if it's going to have strain relief, if it's going to be easy to change, if you need to change it, like that kind of stuff. I wouldn't call it OCD, but a little bit.
I mean, it comes back with like that design, and it's a design style, and that's why I was asking, because of exactly cleaning up the bays, your product design, and the way that I see it's put together is very like thought out. Like I definitely look at everything in an artistic way because I am a creative. Like I love art, I love design, so it's just really neat to see. So I was just curious, and even so with like the dressing and everything, it seems, of course this is from the outside looking in, the way that I'm seeing your business, everything's super fucking clean and organized, and I love it. Like that's how I want my life, Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I think it's just a terminology that we're both using, and whether it's OCD, but it's like planned, thought out, detailed, particular. It's like I know what I like, and I want to do that, and I won't budge on it. If I know that this shape looks better here and the other one throws it out of whack because I can try to think from different people's eyes, then I'm not going to let up. I'm not going to back down until I know to do what's right. But it doesn't cross over into anything else. Like if there's something that I don't know or have an opinion on, I'll just say it.
Yeah. No, that's cool. What do we got here? I am not scary. You come up and give me a big hug.
Dude, you got a face tattoo. I'm scared.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
You definitely commit crimes.
I mean, I do, but
I had to bail him out like Thanksgiving weekend last year. I swear to God.
We won't talk about it.
Wait, is that?
No, I'm a softy. People say that they're like intimidated by me at like drift events to come say hi and stuff, and I'm like I don't know, I'm like the nicest guy. That's probably what it is. It's that and morbidly obese. You know what I mean?
Oh,
right.
So
fat face tag guy.
Fat face. Yeah, I don't want to talk to that guy. He's gonna eat nachos over my dead body.
I don't like any of this.
I don't like any. Yeah, I'm super unapproachable.
Nice to you.
Hey, speaking of design though and stuff, the new house that's pretty new, right?
Yeah, we just
congratulations.
3 or 4 months ago. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks pretty sick. So the design in that, I've been like stoked on. Like the choices you're making with like the hallway was fucking awesome. Do you have a lot more to do on the house?
Yeah, so it's kind of a Tuscan style.
Okay.
And it took me a little bit to figure that out because it's not modern, it's not traditional, it's not anything. But the house itself was built very Tuscan style. Mm-hmm. And I know y'all don't know cities, but we're in a town called Mountain Brook, which is the richest. And this isn't I'll just explain. I was going to make a disclaimer.
Whoa, no.
Yeah. Well, it's the wealthiest, nicest area in Alabama. And that's not to say that we didn't get a good deal on the house and it's required some work, but I was able to kind of slum trash my way into the town because I want to be in the school. I want to be in the school system. I want to be next to really healthy food and like-minded people.
Yeah.
Like there's $5 million and $6 million houses there. I was able to get one that was really nice. What sounds cliche, but good bones. But got it for a pretty good deal. It's got checkered like Italian marble when you walk in. It's just look up like Tuscan style. And so we're blending like this is a stupid word, but like whimsical Gothic.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of Tuscan, like picture a dude in a sweater or like khaki.
Uh-huh. Yes, continue.
Picture like a Hamptons man on September 10th, 2001. And
the fuck?
The exact date is good. Let me get my Jergens. Hold on.
Just before September
Chad's
11th.
frozen too, which is the best.
He's picturing it.
Yeah, he's picturing it.
God.
Chad was excited.
Yeah, just picture a man in the Hamptons on September 10th, 2001. And but he's listening to Chemical Romance for the first time. He's gonna change his style a little bit. He's like, whoa, like this song. Like when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city. I'm going to change my style, but I'm going to keep living in the Hamptons. That's
Right.
that's what our house is.
I appreciate that. I
That's
appreciate
a great explanation.
the vision was perfect.
Yeah.
No, I dig it.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
I love your stories, man. I love watching the progression of the house. I think it's really, really cool. That kind of stuff just, I mean, I don't know. For some reason, it's like, I guess as we get older, I'm finding myself like when Tom posts a story from Front Street when he's like, "Oh, I'm doing this." I'm like, "All right, get it, boy." You know what I mean? Like in my head, I'm like, "Hell yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to see that. Any type of like, changes and stuff, and house stuff's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. We're stoked, man. We painted most of the walls black. Our kitchen's like a dark green, and everything was beige.
of
What do they call it,
course.
like beige mom or whatever that
Yeah.
Gen Z thing. Everything was beige, and the exterior is kind of a tan. So we want to paint that either bright white or black or charcoal. Don't have the budget right now, but it's got a pool and a waterfall. It's got like a total Hamptons house vibe. We're
Right.
just kind of gothing it up
Yeah.
and doing a nice. I feel like the because I used to just be into mid-century modern, and I felt like that was a very basic thing.
Sure.
Like a lot of people are just into mid-century modern because that's what that's kind of what we're brainwashed to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I don't think that the moment in the 60s and 70s was incredible and the design's really cool and simplistic.
Oh, sure.
I mean, look at this right here. That's right there. That's mid-century modern. But it's like having actual taste is like, I really like this and I really like this and really like this. And then blending it all. I just think that's fun. Like you said, it's like as you get older, you're like, this is really fun. It's like this lamp that shouldn't go with this stuff. I'm going to get it, but I'm going to buy that lampshade and put it with that. And then suddenly it like works with my Hamptons goth Tuscan vibe.
I like it. I hope you start dressing the part too.
Dude,
Like I hope you get a little gothy and you start painting your nails just a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you still rock the same. I love the turtleneck. I love the jackets.
Yeah.
You need like a smoker's jacket with some painted nails. That would be sick.
Yeah, appreciate that. Actually, I had painted nails for a while, black.
Oh yeah, when you were younger.
Yeah, I did that for a little bit. I wouldn't do it now.
I think
Not that I hate. People
No,
hate
sure. I could see James. James, did you ever do any of that stuff? Did you ever have
Painted
painted
nails?
nails? Yeah.
No, I straightened my hair once.
I could.
Wow. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That
gotta
was a
see
long
a
time
picture of
ago.
that. Do you have
There's
to
one
find that?
somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure. That's super
Yeah,
fucking funny.
it's back there.
Yeah. Oh man. No, that's cool. What else besides automotive stuff? This is probably like our after hour style stuff. We're gonna get into it. Besides drifting, besides whatever, what's your other hobbies, man? Do you have anything else that you do? And please tell me it's something really weird.
No. Let me think.
It's got something to do with that skeleton back there. I can feel it.
Stop motion animation.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Bugs.
I don't want to talk about this.
It's like never mind.
Super uncomfortable.
I've been seeing the skeleton doing a lot of stuff. So
Well, I know what y'all are thinking. What kind of chair does that look like when he's sitting in the corner like that?
Is he in timeout?
is he in
he's
time out?
No, he's spaghetti. He's hiding behind the tree.
Oh yeah, spaghetti.
Yeah, exactly. My hobbies. It's been tough because it's like cars have consumed me. I love to watch SLS skateboarding.
Oh cool.
If you're familiar, it's like they're Street League.
Yeah.
They're announcing and their presentation so good, and the fact that the announcers are actual drivers, which I want to. I know y'all talk about this a lot. I'm sure, like most drivers do, but the fact that Formula Drift doesn't have drivers as announcers is crazy. Like Drift Masters is better for that reason because it was Dave, because he's a driver. You can explain it. SLS is so good, so I still enjoy skateboarding culture and following it and all that. But yeah, cars have just been it.
Yeah, they consume. They can, especially when you have a business built around it as well. So it's like it's 100% everything. If you did not get into automotive stuff, what do you think you'd be doing right now? Jail time or
Probably jail.
Hell yeah.
I'd be 3 times canceled.
yeah,
I'd have only a couple people left because everybody has abandoned me because I've been canceled.
that makes sense.
And I would be free.
Yeah, I
I'm
feel
just
that.
kidding. No, I wouldn't be in jail. On the hobbies thing, I mean, all the stuff that we just talked about, like the design, like kind of designing your home and your space. I guess that counts as a hobby. Kind commercial real estate is like a means to an end, but it's still fun. Like the development aspect of it. Like if I buy a building, we do demo and I paint some walls and spruce it up to sell it for way more.
Yeah.
That's kind of a hobby, but it's like
Yeah.
more profitable than what I'm doing with Chase Bays. Let me think. I don't know. I don't know if I have another like an alter ego of what I would be doing. I would assume probably just designing different products, or maybe probably being like a real estate developer, like building high-end neighborhoods, or
Okay.
not copy pasta type stuff, but you know, a beautiful building renovation in New York or something like that. Maybe that would be.
Like a mogul. You want to be like like the boss. I could see you
Yeah.
being the boss.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Boss.
having the design aspect too. You know, I mean, people who've made entire buildings and they design all the materials and stuff like that. Just design something designy.
No, that's cool.
Those are my strengths, and then all the business and operations I had to learn.
Yeah. Did you teach yourself?
Yeah, I read Business and Operations for Dummies.
Did you actually though?
Hell yeah.
It's funny. I actually have the book. I've never read it. But I did like a social media post, and I like just had it out.
Yeah.
But no, it was a lot of books and a lot of kind of just as you go. You're like, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to. What does a P&L mean? But how do I not balance a checkbook? But how do I budget? How do I plan?
Yeah.
How do I forecast, all that stuff? It was just reading like articles. You read a really good article, and that usually like your curiosity leads you to so and so's book, which changed my life. And, all right, I'll read that book, and then, so you learn a lot about operations. And then just one thing leads to another.
Yeah.
The Art of War, great book.
There you go. God, P&L statement. That's I haven't heard that in a while. That was my nightmare for like 20 years. I did not enjoy those.
Man, it's fun. It's funny because I really enjoy that stuff. Like I enjoy budgeting and the P&L and like knowing what to do moving forward now. And I would have never imagined that. But when you look at your P&L and you're like, our marketing budget's a little high, we need to pull that, or it's low, we can spend more on that, or we can cut this fat. Like it's just the temperature of your business it's actually fun. My hobby is a nice cold coffee, maybe some whiskey, and a spreadsheet.
Wow, freaking the sheets, if you will.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Would you have any advice for people that are, because I mean, you have to be inspirational for a lot of people that are, dreaming of starting their own businesses and like, pushing forward and growing their own. Do you have any like suggestions or anything that, was really monumental that you figured out early on, or that you know now that you wish you would have known that you could tell people, give some advice if you have any?
Okay. I could probably write a book, but it's probably the same stuff that they hear a lot. It's stuff that I heard and maybe didn't listen to sometimes, but no matter what, typically if you're the founder of the business or you're running the show, you know best, and don't let anybody pull you from that, because people will be selfish and not think about the consequences, whether it's like a design that I know is going to be faulty or not work for this or going to break or something like that. Don't let somebody else win just for the sake of employee happiness or whatever. Like if you know it's right, you stand your ground, be hard, be dogmatic as possible. If you feel just a little bit like you're right, and be ready to be wrong, of course, but I have backed down and regretted it every time. And in my head, it's out of compassion, like empathy, basically, like empathy to a fault, where I'm like, well, he's trying hard. I'll give him the win on this, blah, blah, blah. Like it comes from a good place, but I suffered for it. And it sounds like asshole boss type stuff. But like, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing is like you stand your ground on what you know is right.
Yeah.
And then, don't, it's tough because there's a time and a place to make sacrifices. And this would require more nuanced explanation, but you got to pay yourself. People in the building should make more money than you. A lot of people will like kind of sacrifice, like, oh, I'm going to pay this guy more than I make, just temporarily. There's just something that it's like you're giving a piece of yourself away that you don't kind of come back from for a few years. There's a time and a place though to suffer temporarily, but you should always be the highest. If you're the business owner, you should always be the highest paid person in the building. and because that's the proper order of things. And if it's not, then something's wrong with your business. You're not profitable enough. You're hemorrhaging money somewhere. Like that's the natural order of your business is for you to get paid more. And so take care of yourself first. It's like kind of subtle things, but it's a bigger picture. If you can't pay yourself more than somebody else, you're either paying them too much or your business is sick somehow.
Yeah.
It's like a signal.
Right.
Like
There's something wrong.
The money is one thing. Like it's not about the money. It's the signal.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, no shit.
And then it's hard because you want to have empathy for people and think about what, your employees and what's best for them. But it's really, and I know a couple of my employees are listening, so there's no secrets here.
There's guys out here like, I make more than you, bitch.
Yeah, right. I'm massive.
I should, and if they
should,
then they should too.
Yeah,
and,
you should always.
There should be confidence with them that I'm the one. Back to the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the owner, then you see the P&L, you see you see the tech support line, you see the mistakes, you see how hard it is to assemble it or how easy it is to assemble it. You get to see the output of everything, so you do know best. That's why I say, do what you know is right, because it's not about being like boss man or being alpha. It's about having the most knowledge, and so for my guys, Landon, he works at Chase Bays.
Landon, don't rewind it at all.
Well, it's no secret, Landon. I'm talking to them about like basically if I know I'm right, I'm going to stand my ground because they asked me for business advice. He knows, but like it's
Landon's
just
good dude.
Landon's good dude. Those are the two biggest things because they're not just the sentence that I said. They're a signal towards something bigger, and they have higher. It's bigger than just what I said. You know what I mean? I think
Sure.
I feel like I've explained that well. And then, just be so good or be so hardworking that you make other people quit. And, because I mean, nobody can outwork me. At least that's what I should delude myself into believing.
Yeah.
And it's not even about working hours. It's about working smart, being effective. Because anybody can work 20 hours a day. I mean, just because you work 20 hours a day doesn't mean you're doing something. Somebody could work 8 hours and be more effective than your 20. And exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
I get
working smart, working
Sure.
effectively. And it's just, those are my three major things.
No, I like it. That's cool. I mean, there's a lot of people we have a couple in here that, own businesses and stuff too. So I know that they're excited to listen to a fellow business owner. You know what I mean? Like, that's definitely neat. That's definitely cool. So you guys in Alabama have the biggest unclaimed baggage in the world. Did you ever think of getting some of that and going through and trying to find sex toys, or is that just me?
We've been there. It's up in
have you really?
Fort Payne, yeah. I don't know what it is about Alabama.
James is shaking his head.
I'm so confused right now.
So
seamless transition. Yeah,
I'm pretty smooth. I'm smooth. I'll get in you.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you will. Yeah. That's why you shouldn't be mean to yourself. You have so much to offer. And
I'm always I'm just having fun. I love myself. I love it.
Stop having fun.
Landon wants to go there, so it sounds like you need to take him.
A field trip.
A Chase Bay's field trip.
I don't know what it is about Alabama, but maybe it's. Oh, I know why. It's because we're next to Atlanta, which is the most populated or the busiest airport in the world.
Oh yeah,
Yes, international.
Oh, that's right. I didn't
So
think of that.
next door to us is unclaimed freight, and there's the crazy creatures that come in and out of there. You get on their website and you're like, I can buy 10,000 paper towels for $4. And but unclaimed baggage, unclaimed freight. It's like Alabama's thing, I guess. I'm just not.
That's so funny.
Thanks.
Yeah. I just thought about it. Well, when I was looking through, like we were doing some research, and I was like, man, that's crazy. The most unclaimed luggage, and they have like a center for it, which is wild. It's hilarious.
I want to go there.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It would be cool to go.
I gotta hop off soon. Do we have any more questions?
Oh,
I cannot believe how fast time has.
I forgot that you actually were talking about how late it was going to go. That's yeah. let's jump in to see who
Rapid
sent
fire.
something. Yeah, are you
I
ready
have
for rapid
one.
fire?
I actually made this. It's the white thing, but it's you now.
Can you
He's
ship
working
that to
hard over
me?
there.
Yeah, I
Can
can.
you ship that to me? He says. That's
Just
pretty funny.
do like a giant crate, but it's just that guy in the middle.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, it doesn't end up at unclaimed freight over here.
8-foot tall crate.
Fuck. Landon's gonna find it.
Unclaimed
What the
freight.
fuck is this?
All right, so let me go through these. I want to make sure that they're not stuff that we covered, because a lot of the times people ask stuff, it's always things that we covered, especially like with the origin stories and starting it. You know what I mean? So, all right, what we got here? Jimmy Oak says, "Why is this man so damn handsome?" So look at
thanks,
that.
Jimmy.
Look
Covered
at that.
Tallow.
We covered that. Yeah, tallow. How many skeletons does he have in his closet? I like that one.
He keeps them all out on the
Yeah,
chair.
they're out. Yeah,
I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I've got 7 12-foot skeletons and probably 20
The
or
Home
30.
Depot ones?
Yeah, 20 or 30 little guys. Why is
Oh
this so
my
hard?
God.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah, they're all in our yard.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Hell yeah.
They keep showing up and you keep buying them and they're so cheap. You know,
So funny.
It's why not? You know?
12-foot
Yeah.
skeleton, and it's cool because you just line them up like stormtroopers in your front yard, and then you put like really weird yard signs. I won't say what I'm putting in my front yard, but just really often conflicting. You know.
Oh yeah.
So and then just it confuses people in the area. It confuses the locals. You have like a Kamala and then a Trump sign next to each other.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's
Rich
awesome.
I'm sure in Alabama that goes over real well.
Yeah, right.
Alabama's in Birmingham. It's very blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Usually the
Yeah.
larger cities
Cities,
tend
yeah.
to sway that way.
Yeah, but Alabama, it's like every state's that way, right? It's like
Yeah.
red around blue collar boys.
Yeah, a lot of these are, how was Chase Base started? What's the agenda for the rest of 2024? We kind of got into that. Have you thought about ever making Arrow for the ZN6?
Arrow's not our thing, but Fatago and Urus and Origin are killing it. So,
Yeah. Shout out David Bob Fatago line. He's a friend of ours.
yeah, I have Urus on my car now, but I did have Fatago. We put it on the race car.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
By the
hell
way,
yeah.
the race car, just something worth noting. I built it to look like a Final Bout type car, but it's a race
Hell
car.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It shows. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it's
fucking
neat.
sick.
Yeah, it's neat to see like a styled up car ripping around. Yeah, I love to see that. When they're together, it looks cool. Somebody asking if they can be your assistant, and then a lot of the same stuff. Just asking about products,
If there's
which
that
is cool.
the assistant one, send me a resume because
Oh shit!
careers at chasebays.com. Brian's been commenting in here. He's vice president of Chase Bays. We actually need an assistant, but we don't want a woman.
What?
And it's not.
No, I'm kidding.
And it's not.
Damn.
I know.
Yeah,
I long pause on purpose. It's not because. Well, it's not because it's it's because we're.
It's because they're
sexist.
incapable.
It's because they're,
Would you rather them be like your personal chef or something like that, like in the kitchen
Yo,
most of the
that's
time?
what-
Laundry.
Yeah.
yeah.
Typical
I know, it's-
womanly duties. I get it,
Dude, it's so funny.
I get it.
Back when well, most girls don't know about cars. That's why. But I just had to get that out before it got out of hand. But it's funny.
That's getting clipped, is Landon.
It's fine. They know I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't take me out of context, please. I have a family.
That's the problem. Yeah,
I have a family.
Don't worry. Yeah. The half the stuff we say on the normal show, if taken out of context, would screw us. So,
Dude, there's several things that when I finished the sentence, I said, if that gets taken out of context, I'm fucked.
Yep. Yeah. So
But
anyway,
you're not-
back to women. We don't want them at all. You know what I mean? Get rid of them.
I had
No.
I had a when you went through Twitter and deleted all your horrible tweets so that you didn't get canceled. Did y'all do that, or was that just me?
I was lucky. I never had Twitter, and
That was
Chad's is basically porn. So it's for his probably makes him money. You better be making money off that. Your old.
I
stuff.
probably could.
Yeah.
But,
You're fucking
I
up.
don't know.
Yeah, you're fucking up.
Well, I went back and I said, I'm hiring an assistant. It said, I'm hiring an assistant. I need somebody to help me cook, clean my house,
Oh,
and do a lot of
man.
laundry. Oh wait,
Yeah.
I just need a fucking wife.
Yeah, that's funny. Delete.
But I deleted it so that nobody found out about it. Shit.
Sure.
Right. But you just put it out
now
here
you
again,
just-
so
yeah, now you're fucked.
That's
Now it lives
fine.
forever.
Yeah,
I
that's,
don't
We
care.
say that every week.
I'll never apologize.
that's funny.
That's the thing. Here's my fourth piece of advice: if you ever get canceled, don't apologize.
Yeah, just own it. Who cares?
When you apologize, that's when they really start attacking you.
Mm-hmm.
Do like what all the greats have done, like Morgan Wallen. He's like, "Yeah, I said what I said," or like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah, just own it.
He's like, "Oh, I did say that, huh?" Anyways,
Yeah, moving on. Yeah, that's funny.
moving on. What else we got?
No, everything else is pretty much your they want to know the origin, which is cool, which we went over, and they want to know about products. A lot of stuff was what's coming. You know what I mean? So if you want to do a little teaser, but I wouldn't probably give it away. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we don't hype it up because people will start emailing us and asking.
Sure. Yeah.
Wait, somebody just texted me.
They said,
right.
"What the fuck are you doing on that show?"
Yeah, well, they said that was me that asked if you needed an assistant.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
There you go. And you're
Hired.
like, nope. If you know them.
Yeah, no.
That's funny.
So we just don't post about it like some companies do, because then we get more emails asking when it's going to release.
Yeah.
And a product can sometimes take 3 months, or sometimes it can take a year or more.
Yeah.
Just whether it's testing or supply chain issues or we forgot about it.
Sure.
So I'm just going to read off a couple of them.
Oh, sick. You heard it here first, everybody.
Yeah. It's pretty cool stuff. Lots of problem solving things. Most things are. So the big one is Tilton delay valve or flow control valve clutch line kits. So everybody seems to be waking up, and I know, Rich, you've known this for a while, is that the clutch delay valve is a massive upgrade and can help your drivetrain. Like shit can still break, but a delay valve just delays it milliseconds to decrease the shock on your transmission axles and diff and all that. And we're obviously we make clutch lines and we sell Tilton master cylinders, so we're going to make Tilton delay valve kits for everything. Nice. So it's great. It's a massive. It can save your day. I mean, Rich, you know this.
It's like a must-have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a must-have. And it's weird because when you push the clutch, when you let up real quick, it actually delays. Like if you get used to it and you forget about it. But yours does that, right, Rich?
I don't even notice it, but yeah.
Right. But the first time.
It's like,
It's like normally the clutch pedal follows your foot, but when you lift your foot off, it's just like a split second delayed because it's actually. But it doesn't cause a problem even on underpowered cars for clutch kits. It still puts the power down.
I was gonna ask about power. Like if there's a suggested, like for the pro style builds, or even all the way down to like your low powered stuff.
Yes, dude, I broke axles in a stock power FRS. So I mean, I just think I feel like
get rid of that initial shock through the drivetrain.
Yeah, it's like even stock power cars can break shit. So it's really going to be priced affordably. I think we're landing at like $249, which is really not a bad price when an axle can be way more money and a diff can be way more money, and you have to buy it once. You don't have to service it or replace it. So that's pretty cool. So every clutch line that we make now and a couple more will include a delay valve in the middle of it. What else we got? A couple just catch can add-ons, a better catch can drain, a 10AN filter, like a stainless mesh filter for vent to atmosphere people. More options on the oil sandwich adapters, like RB specific oil sandwich adapters, SR specific oil sandwich adapters, LS specific oil cooler adapters. Maybe this is noise on some stuff. RB oil drains for the back of the cylinder head. They over oil the cylinder heads on RBs, and we made a 10AN drain kit.
That's cool.
With a hose and a block adapter and everything. All BMRS on the hose and stuff. We're coming out with a new catch can that has 2 inlets instead of just one. So that just makes it easier and cleaner instead of having like a T or an L fitting on the single inlet on the catch can, there's 2 ways that it can enter. So it just makes the installs cleaner. For typically you're going to have 2 inlets on a catch can.
Yeah.
Couple more dual piston. We have IS300 specific and a JZX100 specific. We make them now, but they'll work better for the chassis. Like the reservoir will be straight. It's kind of at an angle now. There's a couple nitty gritty things that change. All right. The big one is oil cooler kits. So ZN6 oil cooler kits, like the FRS BRZ for JZ, of course, the FA20 flat 4, the LS, the K series. Apply that. Like imagine every popular swap for S chassis, E3646, FD, FC, JZX, which is just JZ. Luckily, we didn't have to make all these different because it's pretty rare that people put LSs in them, and if they do, then they can make their own stuff.
Yeah, because that's already Rich, didn't yours got yours it's got LS.
It's probably like 1 or 2 in the world. Right?
I was gonna say there's not many.
Rare.
Yeah, very rare.
R34 and R33 products, so power steering kit, oil cooler, tank to rail fuel on kit, the clutch adapter. Some of that stuff's already on the site because it was just S chassis stuff redesigned.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if this will be popular, but we're coming out with some Z32 stuff because it was so easy to make an S chassis or R chassis, like reconfigure it and just change the length on something. And I have a Z32. I really like them.
There was actually a Z32 question on Instagram about how you feel about them as a drift car chassis.
I wish that they were more popular because they can either become an R chassis or you can make them an S chassis because the rear end's the same once you delete HICAS. The front, you can just use an LCA and knuckle from an S chassis and just move the shock where it mounts, and it has the same dynamic as the front because the knuckle isn't ideal for a lot of drifting. But I mean, it's obviously doable. Tons of people are drifting R chassis just fine. It's the same, like similar wheelbase. The weight is all just the extra shit. It's got an ABS unit in the back of the car. The HICAS is so heavy. It's all hydraulic. So just the lines alone weigh like 12 to 15 pounds. So you can strip it down because you do that with a build anyways, right? You have to. Most people are stripping all the unnecessary stuff off. So if you take a stock one, it's like JZX100 weight, right? Which nobody complains about the weight of those, by the way. Why does the Z32 get bullied for the weight? But yeah, you take away all the stuff that comes with the EVAP, of course the VG, assuming you're going to put a JZ, RB, SR, or LS in it. Fix that. The rear is S chassis dynamics. The front can be S chassis, or even the knuckle design is fine. You can get the weight down to be an S chassis. I don't know why there's not more of them drifting. I think they look awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool car for sure.
Yeah, we're putting RB in ours, and then I'm gonna have an S15 front suspension and just kind of whip it around, and not like a main drift car, but just to show what it could do.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that's sick.
That's kind of it on the new products, though.
Cool.
Corvette stuff, some S2000 products, pretty much the whole fleet for the Corvette, like power steering kit, dual piston, handbrake. Yeah. Oh, handbrake brackets, like chassis-specific handbrake brackets.
Okay. Yeah.
So like full plug and play. So like JZX100, E3646, S chassis, Corvette, to where you don't have to weld a reinforcement or do anything. You can just bolt it right in.
That's really nice. Yeah, I like to see the plates. Yeah, hell yeah. Sounds like you got your hands full.
By the way, there's like 100 more line items, but it's just.
I believe it. Yeah, just all the little nuances. Yeah. No, that's sick, man. Anybody in the chat have a question for him really quick? I don't want to keep him up past his bedtime. He's got to do the skincare routine.
Past Chad's bedtime, too.
It's probably watching, I hope, some Adventure Time.
This was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, dude. That's what I was telling you. I told you it goes really quick.
My first question was gonna be, did you start the business or did you buy it from another Chase? Because that would have been so much funnier. But I know.
Yeah,
I already knew the answer, but you know what I mean.
That's super funny.
Yeah, founded.
Yeah, you got the important question though. You want to go to the gym?
Yeah, let's go to the gym. It's what is it?
Sick.
Thursday. It's biceps and triceps day.
Buys and
Each
tries,
day.
not buys and back. You're supposed to do them in groups,
Working out.
buddy.
Can't get the lighting
It's
right.
fluff day.
Don't look. The
I
lighting's
can't
wrong.
get the lighting.
The lighting's wrong.
You look mighty small over there.
Oh man. Yeah. That's funny. Sick. Listen, we're not going to take your, I know that, you got some stuff to do. Thank you so much for coming on. This means a lot. It's super cool to sit down with you, learn about the
I
stuff
learned a
that's coming
fuck
up.
ton.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Well, thanks for
Chad.
having me. This has been a lot of fun. I want to, if y'all will have me, I'd love to come back on
100%.
when the time, when the moment's right.
Yeah. You let us know. Yeah. Anything that you want to shout out or, go over real quick before we say goodbye?
Nope.
Even easier. He's like, I want to go to
love
fucking
that.
bed.
He's like, I got a gym day in the morning. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not even tired. I just thought that was a funny answer.
No, it's good. It was really
It
good.
was great. It was perfect.
It's like, no, nobody
Yeah.
to thank. I did it
Nope.
all myself. It was all me. So,
I'm the best alive.
yeah. my wife would not listen to this, so I'm not going to shout her out.
See, that's even better. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. No.
She's like, I don't know. I got really bored after 10 minutes. So
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
That
she's
sounds
like, I could
good.
listen to you rant
Heard it.
anytime.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. It's just, always. That's so funny.
I thought about closing it with a political statement, but I won't.
We've never ever got political on this podcast.
True.
I think
We've
we're
never
gonna
been
keep.
polycharged.
I think we're gonna keep it that way.
Dude, keep it that way. It's so
Yeah.
it's so stupid. Whatever. It's like a rat race. It's just
Exactly. 100%. Yep.
it's all about being happy and having a good time with the
Yep.
boys.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Cool, man. Well, again, thank you so much.
Thanks,
We look
brother.
to excited to see what the future's going to bring. And if you're curious about going to spectate the November event, make sure you check out their Instagram and check out Chase Bays. Give him a follow. Give Chase McMaster a follow. He's got some really cool stuff that he posts on his personal page as well, and you can follow all their adventures. Again, just want to say thanks, and we'll see you hopefully fairly soon.
Yes.
See you in
guys
November.
Yeah. Oh.
soon. See y'all soon. Thank y'all.
Bye,
Thanks, Chase.
everybody.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Bye.